conspiracy theories are dangerous.
Information is the oxygen of a democracy.
With Republicans, with progressives, with libertarians, because this is not about right and left, this is about right and wrong.
It's so sacred we can't talk.
Our security is at stake.
What's up, world? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to Free Speech Friday. Let's give ourselves a minute to make sure that we're all rolling good and that everything's looking good, that you guys can hear me. If you're coming in from Candace, welcome from Candace. If you're coming in from anywhere else on the World Wide Web, welcome. Welcome. We've got a hell of a show for you tonight. Our great nation feels like it's a little bit under attacks. And I mean, who could possibly imagine who? And each week I keep thinking maybe someday I won't have to talk about this little foreign nation the size of New Jersey over in the desert halfway around the world. But today is not that day. So, what's our run of the show for today? First things first, we got to give a huge shout out, a round of applause, a congratulations to our girl Candace for achieving number one in the world. We all knew it. The world's finally catching up. Candace Owens is number one. Obviously. That's not news to anyone in here. It's not news to me. But someone had to let the world know that it's time to party. And if you ain't paying attention to Candace Owens, I don't know what you're doing these days. So, huge congratulations to Candace, and a huge congratulations to her whole team behind the scenes. They're all awesome people. They're good friends. They work super hard. They're hilarious, and they're smart, and they're killing it. So big congratulations to all of them. If you're just coming over from Candace, she had a great show tonight. It was hilarious, and she actually broke into some stuff that I wasn't really that aware of before that we might review a little bit tonight. Namely, the fact that Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk weren't really friendly. Call that news to me. But I guess I just wasn't paying attention to who Ben Shapiro was friends with, because I guess I just assumed they were all friends. But you live and you learn. So, we've got a pretty long show tonight. We're going to cruise for quite some time. If you're putting in super chats, we're keeping track of them, and we're going to try to we will get to all the super chats, but we're going to do it all at the end of the show. So that way we can have one whole show, one big show, and then we'll give about an hour to super chats. We probably won't get to every super chat. So rewind what I just said. We won't get to every super chat. I remember how that went the first time we tried that, and we were here for like 3 hours reading super chats. But that's the thing with super chats. If you're watching on Twitch, appreciate you. Appreciate your subs. Appreciate your support. And I think that's all of our announcements. I think we're pretty much ready to get right into it. We will be talking a little bit about Erica Kirk and her interview. We'll be talking a whole lot about Israel and their foreign influence campaign in America. And we'll be talking a fair bit about Ben Shapiro and what he represents in American media, in Israeli intentions, and in the current political climate today. If you're new here, welcome. This is Free Speech Friday, and I am just a dude that is not an expert at anything. I'm just trying to learn what's going on, and that's what I've been doing all along, doing research and trying to share my research with you. And so the way we do this is I share my sources, and I show you what I'm looking at, so that you can make your own opinion, make up your own mind, because ultimately the point is for us all to be free thinkers with free information, having discussions, having free speech, and coming to conclusions and consensus together in the market of ideas. Tonight is not going to be a super heavy research show. Tonight is going to be a lot more about what's going on in our culture, in our political climate, and what the propaganda is doing. We're going to do a whole bunch of dissecting the propaganda and shitting all over that. I am so sick of the propaganda, but apparently that's our job now, because this is warfare. This is information warfare. And you can run from it or you can face it. And that's kind of just the way it goes. So, to get us all warmed up, for the night. Are you buckled up? Are you in the chat? Do you have your drinks? Do you have your popcorn? You took your wee-wee? You're good to go? Bladders are empty? Because we're about to get rolling. Yeah, welcome. I can see you guys chatting. Rip to Joe Rogan. Oh, Joe Rogan's still doing just fine. I am sure that Joe Rogan is very happy to not be the center of the scandal, at least for now. But let's get started with our boy Brandon Tatum. Officer Tatum, one of the smartest, most intellectual human beings on the internet today. And let's watch an amazing takedown of one of these most basic of talking points that's going to get us warmed up into, shall we say, discussion of our greatest ally.
So for somebody to be kind of acting like Israel is just this sophisticated little group of people and they come out manipulating big bad America, that's insane. We went to war for 20 years after 9/11, 20 plus years. Where is the weapons of mass destruction?
And who do you think planted it in the ear of the United States government that they should get involved in the Middle East and Iraq because they have weapons of mass destruction?
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever.
Yeah, that would be your boys over there. So with that established, you mentioned that we were in 20 plus years in the global war on terror in the Middle East. Right, I was there, I know. Most of my friends on here were there. You know who wasn't there? You fucking Talmud Tatum, nor any of your boys from fucking Israel, our greatest ally. Never once did we get a Kazavac, not a call for fire, not a single IDF soldier, no QRFs, no resupplies, no bullets, beans, bandages, nothing from Israel. For 20 plus years, fighting wars in the Middle East that benefit them. You know who was there shedding blood with us, fighting next to us, down there fucking putting in work? The British, the Danish, the Polish, the Australians. I can go on and on, all the way to even Muslim countries. I know you hate to hear that, but Muslim countries like United Arab Emirates were there fighting with us, shedding fucking blood. You know where we got medevaced? We didn't get medevaced at fucking Tel Aviv, which is right around the corner. We got medevaced to Landstuhl, Germany. So please tell me how Israel's our greatest ally and how they do anything for us.
Yeah. Shout out to Ricky HD. Big shout out to Ricky HD. If you're not familiar with Ricky HD, find him on Instagram. He's got some great videos, and we'll be revisiting him at the end of the night. But I learned something that I cannot believe that I did not know. I went on this awesome live stream with the boys just last night, put together by Jesse on Fire, top left of the screen there. And our boy Nate, who hosts the channel Valhalla VFT, he's actually live streaming tonight, and he said that he was going to send his people over here when they're all done. Nate has been crushing the investigation into Charlie Kirk. He's got a lot of great takes, and he dropped some absolute, I don't even want to call it fire knowledge because it's so basic, and I don't know how every American does not already know this. You know how they say that Israel is America's greatest ally? Well, allow us all to be enlightened.
DC says, do we agree that Israel is not our friend and never had? I think we probably answered.
Hold on. I'm still blown away, guys. And I see this all the time. I just watched Brandon Tatum talk about Israel is our greatest ally. I just keep getting confused because the word ally means something. It means you have an actual formal contracted alliance with another foreign government. And what we have never had ever, the United States has never had a formal contracted alliance with the state or government of Israel.
Is that real? Is that true?
You guys don't know this?
No, dude.
They are not our ally. And when I say this all the time, Israel is not our ally not because it's my opinion, because it's objectively true.
Whoa.
which is
that's
also
wild.
why.
Look at my face.
This is also why when we went and fought the global war on terror in Iraq and Afghanistan, and Germany and Canada and Australia, and fuck, you could go down the list, Romania, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the Kurds, everyone came and fought.
The Kurds don't even have a state.
The one country that didn't, the Czechoslovakians, right? Like everyone was there. You know, the one country that wasn't there because they weren't our ally, they weren't in NATO, they had no responsibility to come and assist the 20-year global war on terror because they're not our ally. So yes, guys, for everybody in the chat and everybody who's watching this, the United States is not allied with Israel. We are not allies.
You're talking 2001.
Right? What? So naturally, while we were streaming, after he tells me this, and I'm like, forgive my ignorance, forgive me for trying to learn some things, but what do? When you get told something that you didn't know, you look it up. Is there a formal, oh, right there, there's my look up. Is there a formal alliance between Israel and the U.S.? The United States and Israel do not have a formal mutual defense treaty, which means there is no legally binding agreement that obligates either country to defend the other militarily. What? Well, that explains a lot, or at least it explains half of a lot, because we sure seem to act like we've got one of those. We sure seem to act like that's what's going on. They sure seem to pretend. They never mention the fact that we are in no way obligated to defend this nation. We are in no way obligated to protect them from their own mistakes. No obligation to send them bombs. No obligation to send them money. No obligation to do any of this. And yet we've got our military just running all over the desert for them. For decades, right? And I know the classic Zionist argument is that clip you played of Bibi, he wasn't even the prime minister then. Israel actually lobbied that we shouldn't do it. They said it was a bad... Listen, if you haven't heard of the Clean Break report, you should probably look into it. A report specifically written by Bibi Netanyahu's cronies, commissioned by Bibi Netanyahu, by a bunch of American cronies, American Jews, like Richard Pearl, Douglas Fife, and the Clean Break Report, A Strategy for Securing the Realm, was this classic document that was integral to the doctrine that got us over into the Middle East and had us fighting wars all over the Middle East on behalf of Israel. And in this case, I'm not speaking so much about the war in Afghanistan as much as the war in Iraq, Yemen, Syria, Libya, Somalia. And it's been decades. And this doctrine has governed a huge amount of American military policy quietly, from behind the scenes, from the minds of the neocons, right? And you could go into the, shall we say, unreliable intelligence about weapons of mass destruction that was fed to America by Israeli intelligence, that was fed to Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell and all of these people in the Bush administration that eventually got us over there. You could dig into the anthrax, the totally legitimate anthrax attacks that didn't trace back to a CIA lab that gave you that extra little push in order to get Congress to vote for this stuff. But we all know that we didn't do it for us. Certainly a lot of us profited off of it, like Dick Cheney, rest in whatever state Dick Cheney's resting in right now, as he just passed recently. But let's be clear about who initiated the concept over there, right? And if you're not, suppose you are of the mindset that, like, I don't really have a dog in this fight. Why are we still always talking about Israel? It's not, like, really my business. Yeah, sure, there's, like, there's a conflict in Gaza, but, like, I don't really care that much. You're paying
in just
for
2
it.
years, the U.S. has...
Sorry, let me pull this up for you.
Spent more than $33 billion tied to Israel in the Gaza war. That's $45 million every single day. Split across Israel's 9.2 million people. That's $4.85 per person per day. $144 each month. For a family of 4, almost $600 a month. Most of it, $21.7 billion in direct military aid. Missiles, jets, tanks, Iron Dome. Another $10 to $12 billion for U.S. operations. Warships in the Red Sea, drone strikes in Yemen, expanded bases. Much of it was even fast-tracked through emergency powers. Billions moved without the usual long congressional process. Meanwhile, Americans juggle grocery bills, medical debt, and student loans, while Washington ships billions overseas for war. 2 years, $33 billion, $45 million every single day, not for struggling families at home, but to fuel a war thousands of miles away. Your money, their war. What do you think? Should this be America's priority? Share your thoughts in the comments. And follow Map Narratives for more stories the maps don't usually tell.
Shout out Map Narratives for the great infographic. Thank you. So, this is what Gaza looks like today. We have just funded the annihilation of a people, the annihilation of an entire population, an entire state, an ethnicity, one of the most historical lands in the world. These are precision strikes, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the most moral army in the world looks like. And when I look at this stuff, I'm no expert. I'm not some statistical expert. I'm not some historian. I don't know how to judge this perfectly. There's a million different numbers out there. Everyone argues over the numbers. Everyone argues over this and that. But ultimately, you're trying to tell me that this is the result of precision strikes, of the most moral army in the world, right? Well, that's cool. I'm no military expert. Maybe this is precision strikes. But let's just do a little bit of assessment of what we've done over there and how much we've paid, who's benefited, and how much we have lost, right? How many civilians have been killed in Gaza since October 7th? There's a lot of different numbers floating around out there. According to the Gaza Ministry of Health, as reported by the United Nations, 67,000 people have been killed in Gaza. Just as of this year, October 3rd, 2025. Maybe you think that those are propaganda numbers. Maybe those are Hamas propaganda. It's all Hamas propaganda. Cut it in half. Let's call it 30,000. Okay? Of the 67,000 they're claiming, at least, according to Air Wars, at least 5,000 were civilians. Just between October 7th and October 31st in the very first year. In the very first month, according to anti-wars, 5,000 civilians in the first month. How many ever since then? And now this source, 83%. The Guardian reported earlier this year that Israeli military's own data indicated that civilian death rate was 83% in the Gaza war, okay? And when it comes to these numbers, I don't really care if they're exact. I don't really care if they're Hamas propaganda. Cut them in half. Suppose that it's not 60,000. Suppose it's only 30,000. Suppose it's not 83%. Suppose it's only 50%. I don't care. That means that our nation has just funded the murder of what? 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 civilians? Is 83% acceptable as a civilian casualty rate in a war? A war. A war where one side is the most advanced military in the world, backed by the most advanced military in the world. And the other side is a bunch of peasants with sticks and stones and AK-47s and maybe some hang gliders on a good day. Is that a war? They're a captive population held behind fences. They don't have any access. The food that's in there is controlled. Their water is controlled. It's illegal to collect rainwater in the West Bank. They can't travel in and out. There's a blockade. Is this a war? Or is this an internment camp where they're playing Hunger Games? And now they're going to build the Trump Riviera, right? And ignore all the numbers. Ignore all the numbers. Who cares? Maybe they're all Hamas numbers, right? let's get a little bit of expert testimony on the matter, right? I'm no soldier. I've never been to war. But our boy Nate has been to war. In fact, our boy Nate has been to the wars in the Middle East. He's an ex-Green Beret with multiple tours of duty, with years and years, over a decade of experience, and he'll just tell you exactly how it is. By the way, this is Itamar Ben-Gvir. I believe he's the National Defense Minister. I'm getting that wrong, I think. I always forget what the specific title of him is. He's in Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet. And he's saying in Hebrew, now that we have received the hostages, we must return to war and open the gates of hell upon Gaza. Because this guy is a genocidal maniac.
במיוחד היום הזה, לעצור הכל, להגיד רגע, החטופים ברוך השם החיים חזרו, זה היה עיקר הטענה למה אנחנו לא ממשיכים את המלחמה, הוריד עליהם שהרגל.
Now they got the hostages back. Now they can really get down to business. It's actually smart, very convenient. But we also need to stop calling this a war. This is not a war, okay? A war is between two nation states, okay? Israel is not at war with Palestine. This is, at best, if you want to be charitable, counterterrorism operations, counterinsurgency operations, which we as Green Berets spent most of our time doing in the global war on terror. And I can tell you, when I look at this, this is not a war. I did counterterrorism operations against the Taliban, and it looked nothing like this. We were not allowed to just indiscriminately bomb everything, every building. See, when America does counterterrorism operations, it's very, very surgical. You use special operation forces. You oftentimes are dealing with a ton of civilians in the area. We would have tons and tons of civilians on every target I've pretty much ever been on, and you have to work around that. We don't get to just indiscriminately destroy anything because somebody shot at us from one of those buildings, all right?
But Nate, they're using human shields. Human shields! We have to kill all these kids because of human shields.
Especially if there's civilians inside or dealing with human shields, which is things we had to deal with. This is what this looks like. There's nothing there. It's all gone. This isn't counterterrorism. This isn't counterinsurgency. That's not how any of this looks. We all know what this is. You know what this actually looks like, guys? This looks more like this. This looks more like a nuclear bomb went off.
And, you know, if you've been paying attention, you would know that we've dropped as much tonnage of bombs on Gaza as we did in World War II. Maybe more.
Which is kind of the opposite of a surgical operation, actually. Now, do you want to know how we know for pretty much 100% certainty that this war is not going to end? It's this right here. Yes, so Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has confirmed 2 days ago he will run for re-election in November of 2026, seeking to extend his whole...
Yeah, we're going to get carried away if we keep on looking at all of that because that's depressing, and we could go on and on about BB's war crimes, okay? So, we have a captive population that we are funding the captivity. We are funding the intentional starvation of that population. Israel actually calculated how many people live in Gaza and how many calories per day those people would need, how many calories per day would cause them to starve to death and cause famine, and then add just a little bit to that number, and that's exactly how many calories we're going to let through the blockade. A calculated, barely not famine for years. And then they started bombing them, right? Then you got to remember that there's this whole relationship where Jewish Americans from Pennsylvania and New York City and Florida and Arizona are just taking genocide vacations to go on over there and fight the good fight. Obviously for America, for Israel, for something.
Good evening. My name is Idan Alexander. I'm so honored to accept this recognition from the Fox Patriot.
I mean, first off, look at bro's face. What? I thought it was Muslim nations that had too many cousin marriages.
At the wars. Serving Israel and standing with America remains the greatest privilege of my life. First, I want to...
Let's listen to that one more time.
Israel. I'm so honored to accept this recognition from the Fox Patriot Awards. Serving Israel and standing with America remains the...
Serving Israel and standing with America. You know, by being in the IDF, going over there to kill kids, to kill women.
The greatest privilege of my life. First, I want to thank President Trump for your leadership and for standing with Israel and the hostages. Your support makes this moment possible, and I am deeply grateful. To my family, I want to thank you for never giving up on me. And to the soldiers still fighting and the families of the fallen, I carry your sacrifice with me every day. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
The Fox Nation Patriot Awards. He's getting a Patriot Award for serving in a foreign military. You remember that time when Brian Mast, a sitting congressman who had served in a foreign military, wore his foreign military uniform to Congress? Yeah. This is a foreign military that has manufactured famine. And I purposely chose a Jewish source from Israel, just so you know it's not Hamas. But you can read all kinds of sources about the manufactured starvation of Palestinians. You can read all kinds of sources, including Jewish sources from Israel, about how the West Bank is an apartheid state. How there are different laws for Jews versus Palestinians. How there's two different court systems. How there's different roads. There's different parts of society, different locations, different places you can go. There's giant walls built right through their city. They're surveilled. They're taken from their homes without any explanation, put in prison without any sentencing, without any process of appeal. Then they just keep on taking more land. Israeli settlements in the West Bank have actually accelerated since October 7th. And to be clear, an Israeli settlement is where the Israeli government sponsors Israeli citizens going into Palestinian land and burning their homes down, kicking them out, violently attacking them until they all leave. And then when they all leave, they destroy their homes, they destroy their towns, and they build an Israeli town there using Israeli money, a lot of it coming directly from your paycheck, directly from your tax dollars. And if you're Jewish in America and you want to move, maybe you don't like the state of New York City now that Mamdani's been elected. No worries. You can literally move to Israel and they'll help fund your relocation to a Palestinian home. That's not Palestinian anymore, obviously, because God's chosen people and all that, right? Right. Christians in the Holy Land. We hear over and over that Israel's the defender of Christianity in the Holy Land. They're the defender of Western values. Well, let's hear from Christians in the Holy Land.
Spitting in front of me, spitting behind me, spitting on me, saying bad words to me, bad words about Jesus, throwing stones through our windows, and hate graffitis, and there's very often death to the Christians.
הרב ניקודמוס מכנסיית דור מציון חווה אין ספור התנכלויות ותקיפות אלימות כלפיו וכלפי אנשי הכנסייה.
Unfortunately, after that, it happened again and again. It was not that it's a singular experience.
חלה עלייה במספר התקריות המכוערות.
תצלם אותי, בוא תצלם אותי, שרמוטה, בוא. אל תיגע בי, אל תיגע בי, תסתום את הפה שלך, שאני לא אפר אותך לפה, לגל שלא תסתום אותי, תזהר ממני. כי הם נוצרים, אחי, וזה מה שאני אעשה להם.
This is what they taught you. Fucking Yeshu. It is very important that the religious leaders educate the people to tolerance.
גם מן ההתעלמות של המשטרה.
What we ask is that the government, through the police, do their job. Their job is to grant to all the citizens the right to live safety and in peace.
From the official Israel, I expect more. what I miss, it's really a very clear stance from the official Israel, from the police, from the security to say we have a problem. And this problem is called Christian hate from Jewish extremists. We have to face that problem.
את התופעה הזאת שחזרה לרחובות ירושלים תיעדנו כבר לפני כשנה.
It's really not that surprising, though, when you think about what most people that follow the Jewish religion think of Jesus Christ. You can look that up for yourself. You can ask your search engine of choice, where do they believe that Jesus resides now? What do they think of Jesus? Despite all the anti-Muslim propaganda, Muslims believe that Jesus was holy. He's one of their most revered prophets, right? And honestly, I'm sick of the fucking religious arguments because it's not a religious state and it's not a religious project. Benjamin Netanyahu is not religious whatsoever. There are a lot of religious people in there that are extremely extreme about it, but let's be clear. All of this is a smokescreen. The original Zionists were thinking of going to Africa until they realized it would be awfully convenient to go to Israel because of the religious argument that could manipulate Christians like y'all Americans into thinking that God's chosen people deserve this land. God's chosen people, which sounds an awful lot like, shall we say, the Holy Aryan race, right? As in, anyone that thinks that their race is superior to all other races is inherently genocidal. Any ethno-state that thinks that their ethnicity is superior, particularly for religious reasons, but hell, it could be scientific reasons or just a grudge, whatever it is, that will always lead to the persecution and the eventual genocide of other races that they see as inferior by definition. That's why in America, we have a nation built on the principle that all people are created equal with inalienable rights. That's why America is so great. And Tucker's done a great job of pointing out that that is a fundamentally Christian principle, although anyone is welcome to share it. And to be clear, lots of Jewish people share that perspective and are not in with all of this absolute insanity. And thank God, because we need some sane Jews out here to hopefully pull a bunch of the other ones back from the edge. Same thing with Muslims. Lots of Muslims are into global jihad. But thank God, there's a whole bunch of sane Muslims out there too that are normal people. Important to echo what Tucker has been saying over and over and over, that everyone is an individual and should be judged individually for their actions. And that is why I am so harsh in my judgment of Israel and so harsh in my judgment of everyone that supports Israel and supports this project, whether it be financially or with their words, their actions. Because this project is evil. This project it inherently involves killing children, killing women, displacing families, displacing an entire ethnic group, and persecuting them based solely on their ethnic group. It is based on ethnic superiority. It's really not that different than the whole Nazi thing that it's supposed to be a reaction to, than the whole Nazi thing that Tucker apparently represents, that we're all freaking out about. Literally the side that is backing the modern ethnogenocide is the side screaming that they are victims of a regular dude named Tucker Carlson, who's just talking to people in his barn. But we all actually know, I think, at least around these parts, we all know what's going on, like what's wrong with the war in Gaza. And what Israel's doing to Gazans, and what Israel's doing to Palestinians, both in the West Bank and in Gaza. But we don't talk enough about what's going on with the Israelis in Israel. Aside from them protesting their government of Bibi Netanyahu, aside from them protesting for the right to rape prisoners, there's all kinds of crazy stories we could go with. But I just want to look a little bit at what are they doing with all of the money that we're sending to them. One thing that Israel's doing with all of our tax dollars is they all have free health care. Did you know that? Did you know that Israel has some of the best healthcare in the world. In 2020, Israel's health system was ranked third most efficient in the world. And after all, that's not surprising because it's awfully easy to run a good health system when your tiny little nation the size of New Jersey is the benefactor of all of America's tax dollars to the tune of tens of billions. Right? How's your health care, bud? This part isn't even about Israel, but I just thought I would throw it in there. Did you know that Jewish people can get interest-free loans? Did you know that there's just a network of Jewish financiers, I guess, like banks? Because I don't know. But you can just look it up. Just look up interest-free loans for Jewish people. And there's all kinds of different organizations that provide them for all different reasons. I don't know how much you're paying on your mortgage, how much you're paying on your credit card. If you're in a pinch, good luck with that. See if the bank will give you a loan. Ask how much the usury will be. But if you're part of this chosen people, apparently, you're all good. Because by their belief, it's prohibited to charge each other interest on loans. I am no historical scholar, but I seem to remember Christians having a belief at some point that usury was bad. Usury meaning charging interest on debt. Money lending. Right? And the more you learn about the American financial system, the Federal Reserve, central banking, going off the gold standard, fiat currency, the more you learn about our modern slide into economic collapse, more or less, the more you learn that it's pretty much all based on usury. And that if we still had a gold-backed currency and we weren't extorting each other for interest on all of this made-up debt, and then repackaging that debt into derivatives, and then repackaging those derivatives into second-rate order derivatives, we probably wouldn't be so fucked. The dollar probably wouldn't have lost 98% of its purchasing power over the last 100 or so years, right? But don't worry, because we're just printing more and more money every year so that we can send $21.7 billion of it in military aid to Israel ever since the war in Gaza began. The war in Gaza, right? You never voted for this. In fact, I remember voting for America First. But you're not really America First, are you? If you don't support a foreign ethno-state that spits on Christians, bombs children, and takes your money for their free healthcare programs and the like. You can pick whatever source you want. There's all different sources, but it's not $3 billion, right? Let's get that clear. We always give every year at least $3 billion to Israel. That's the baseline. Okay? But since the war in Gaza has started, it has skyrocketed. And again, you don't need to argue over numbers because it's all retarded. $1 billion is too much. At this point, $100 is too much. At this point, giving anything to the nation that's conducting a genocide is too much. After all, what do we historically think of everybody that helped the Nazis? You know, the worst thing that's ever happened. Ignore Stalin and the communists, ignore Mao, ignore all the other atrocities, because obviously this is the only one that matters. But any dollar sent to Israel is too much while they're killing women and children with them. Duh. How much do you think it would take to end homelessness in America? Obviously a nebulous number, but when you start to look into it, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, they estimated how much, and it would only cost $20 billion, according to our own government, to end homelessness in the United States of America. So for the cost of killing tens of thousands of women and children in the desert, we have chosen not to help each and every American citizen living on the streets. We could have easily done all that here in America and had like almost $10 billion left over, according to our government anyways. But who's really counting, right? Homelessness crisis, fentanyl epidemic, people out on the streets, can't walk around at night. No big deal. Because it's really important that we bomb women and children. Obviously, because Hamas is over there, right? So each day, an average of 17 veterans take their own lives, according to Barry Law, this veterans law attorney. But Nate from Valhalla VFT filled me in on another really important fact last night while we were talking about this very statistic. That statistic doesn't include drug overdoses, apparently. Which we all know is a big part of the problem. And actually, Nate gave a really touching and sad but powerful breakdown of what it is that actually drives veterans to suicide and what it is that is so destructive about coming home from war. And it's not what you might expect, and it wasn't what I expected. And it really helped me to understand what was going on with veterans in America. And it's tragic. And I highly recommend you go watch that stream that I was referencing earlier. You can find it on his channel. But Nate said that this number does not actually include drug overdoses, and that the number is probably actually a lot closer to 40 by most people's estimates. 40 veterans every day taking their own lives. That's obviously in addition to just regular American teenagers, American men, American women that are also taking their own lives every day because of the hopelessness of this nation right now. People getting addicted to fentanyl and other drugs every day because our economy is failing. Housing is impossible. Student loans are crushing. Groceries are insane. Wages ain't shit. But don't worry, because God's chosen people have free health care at your expense. And all of our government is sure to get up on stage at each next most important Israel rally that's hosted in our country with millions of dollars that comes from Lord knows where to tell you all about how great it is that we support this foreign nation. And to tell you who you got to cancel for even talking about it. Because obviously, it's unthinkable that anyone would ever talk about such things. It's unthinkable that a 21-year-old kid would ever say something so bombastic as what Nick Fuentes says when he's growing up in this environment, in this economy. Right? United States drug overdose death rates and totals over time. Around 76,500 people died in the 12-month period ending April 30th, 2025. That is 210 drug overdose deaths per day. And I do not know what is going on with West Virginia, but someone should check on West Virginia. I just want to read this Twitter post as a singular anecdote to help drive this home. Zach says, I am 40 years old. I work full-time in emergency medical services and transport ambulances. I help people through the worst days of their lives. I've done what we were all told to do. Show up, work hard, stay consistent, live within your means, and still, I can't afford to live on my own. Even with overtime, the bills outpace the paycheck. Rent rises faster than wages. I'm being evicted and moving back in with my family. It's humbling, and honestly, it hurts. But it also says something larger about an economy that's detached from real life, where essential workers can't afford essentials. I can help lives, but I can't afford to live one. Something has to give, because this isn't sustainable. Not for me, not for anyone trying to hold the line quietly. And this is one of the hardest and most traumatizing and most important, respectable jobs you could ever hold. Maybe you should move to Israel, where all that free healthcare money will help pay for his rent. And maybe he'd even get his rent subsidized by a good little American tax money. Eh? So, let's wrap up section 1 here with the broad overview of getting us back into the Israel conversation with a little bit of context of what's really going on out here by revisiting our boy, Ricky HD.
MAGA unless you support Israel. Doesn't matter. You're not truly MAGA unless you support Israel. Doesn't MAGA stand for Make America Great Again? What does Israel have to do with that? Because they are our greatest ally. Really. What have they ever done for us? Name one thing. Besides bomb us and attack us, which is an actual fact. We went to the war in the Middle East fighting their enemies. Never once did the IDF help us out. Never once did they send anything. Did they give us any beans or bandages? They didn't give us any bullets. They didn't give us any backup. They didn't give any QRF. They didn't give a medevac. Nothing. If you can tell me one thing that they've done besides the Mossad and their intelligence, which must be pretty shitty if they didn't know that there was people on their border in fucking hang gliders that were gonna attack them. I mean, well, the Bible commands that Christians need to stand with Jews because Jews are God's chosen people. And as a Christian, I want you to go ask any Jew, anyone, go ask them, do you believe in Jesus Christ? And they will say no. He was just a Jew that was trying to run amok, performing sorcery acts, and they killed him for his transgressions, and now he's boiling in hell for eternity in his own excrement, which is feces, semen, and urine. And then I want you to go ask a Muslim, do you believe in Jesus Christ? And they will say, yes, we do. We believe that he was a prophet, he was the closest to God, and absolutely divine. There's nothing in the Bible that commands Christians to stand by an ethno-state that was created in 1948. What does it say in the Bible about denying Christ? 1 John 2:22, what does it say? It says, who is the liar? He who denies Christ is the Antichrist. It also says in the Bible that he who does not believe in me does not believe in my Father. As a Christian, your God and a Jew's God is not the same, but you have to be subservient to them because the Bible commands it. It's just confusing. You know that in Iran, they chant death to America every single day. We have American liberals that chant death to America every day. Those are just words. Has Iran ever attacked us? Has Iraq ever attacked us? Has Syria ever attacked us? No, but you know who has attacked us? It's Israel. Israel's actually attacked us more than once. Well, Israel's the only place where Christians can live and pray and do their faith in peace. Is that what BB told you? That's not true. Christians in Israel get spit on, they get denounced, they get shunned, they get their land stolen from them, their churches bombed, their bishops killed. The IDF has actually killed more Christians than Islamic terror groups in Syria. It destroyed more Christian churches than anyone in Iran. Where's Bethlehem? Bethlehem, where Jesus was born and he's from, is in the West Bank of Palestine. The place where the IDF and Israeli settlers are pushing Christians out violently and stealing their land. You might want to read. Well, in Israel, they're more aligned with our values in the West. Who do you think runs the pornography industry and most all of the OnlyFans, Pornhub, RedTube, all the above? And where do you think that transgenderism actually originated from? I'll tell you, it's not the Muslims and it's not the Christians. Where do they allow sex changes for children? Where's the one place in the world that's a safe haven for PDF files? I'll give you a hint. It's Israel. You know who Jeffrey Epstein is? You're not truly MAGA unless you support.
No, Ricky, I don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is. Jeffrey Epstein who? Are we still talking about this guy? Really, this guy? This creep? I thought we'd forgotten all about him. I thought we cleared his name. I mean, I certainly forgot about how our own justice system tried and convicted him, and then mysteriously he died. But yeah, let's clear his name, forget all about it, get Ghislaine Maxwell out of prison, and just forget it ever happened, right? Yeah, America first. That's right. That's right. So now that America's waking up, now that we're all talking about it, now that the dam has broken, largely and in some ways like entirely because of our boy Nick Fuentes, now we got a problem. Because all you peasants, we're really going to need you to keep funding healthcare over there. And the war's not over. I mean, the hostages are back, and so now it's time to kill more civilians. I mean, Hamas terrorists. Terrorists, obviously. It's the terrorists. And so if you're not going to pay for that, then I think we're going to have a problem. And so what Israel thought they would do is they would multiply their propaganda budget times 20. They did that just this year. 20 times more than what they already paid. And if you can't figure out how much they were already paying, think about how much the messaging was before October 7th. Think about how much you weren't allowed to talk about this before October 7th. Think about all the funding that organizations like, I don't know, TPUSA and maybe the Daily Wire were getting. And obviously they were only getting it from Americans, Americans for American interests, just like AIPAC, obviously. Yeah. Let's move on to part 2 of this. And here we're going to get to our boy Ben Shapiro. We're going to get to the current state of the propaganda war, the battle for the soul of America. And it's backwards world. It's literally the sky is red, down is up, left is right, wrong is right. Get wrecked, you filthy peasants. I'm not talking on a microphone. You're talking on a microphone. I can't believe you would ever think I would have a microphone. Do you hate Ian's? Oh my gosh. This is the kind of things that are being said in the public square, on stage, on video. And we're supposed to act like we're retarded. We're supposed to act like we don't have eyes and ears. And frankly, I don't really get fired up about any topic. Before October 7th and before all of this shit, I reported on pedophiles in the government. I reported on the banks controlling the world. I reported on disasters mismanaged, maybe caused on purpose. I reported on corporations poisoning babies. I reported on corporations poisoning moms. I reported on basically everything with a smile on my face because the world's a fucked up place. And a little bit of humor goes a long way. But there's really nothing that makes me mad like people telling us we can't have freedom of speech. And then proceeding to gaslight us about our dollars, our hard work, our time and energy, our entire nation's well-being being sucked away by a parasite to conduct a genocide and kill women and children. And then they have the audacity to come back to our country and tell us to be grateful and to shut up or else. Get wrecked. You shouldn't have shot Charlie Kirk in the neck, whoever you are. I didn't even like him in life, I'm somewhat ashamed to say. I was rather adversarial to the man because the man was one of the top Zionist chills. Although, when you actually look at the evidence, you realize that it was a lot more complicated than that. As Candace pointed out, there was a lot more going on for Charlie Kirk than that. And Israel started to notice. They started to notice. And now, almost 2 months on, everything has changed. We are never going back. The veil has been lifted. The dam is opened. The conversation has entered a point that we've never seen before. And it's warfare. Let's be very clear. It is warfare. Quote Clint Russell. Shout out to Clint for having me and Dave Smith on his pod the other night. Great conversation. A lot of people gave Dave shit. I think that's uncalled for. Dave is the man. I love Dave. I had a great time. We're going to do another one too in the near future. But different topic. Clint says, you are now 11 days deep into a well-funded, well-coordinated psychological warfare campaign to destroy the most beloved political commentator on the right, Tucker Carlson. Numerous sitting politicians are involved. This is not normal, nor is it organic. Keep defending free speech and Tucker Carlson. Don't let the institutional power structure trick you into thinking they are winning. They are not. They wouldn't be doing this if they were. These are the last gasps of the neocons as they try to excommunicate the most high-profile non-interventionists they have ever encountered. It's not about Fuentes or even really about Tucker. It's about Israel and the warfare state, and it couldn't be more clear. But before we get into this, let's back up and have a little bit of humor, okay? Let's have a little bit of humor and remind us of something super important. If that's Valhalla's homies coming in here, if I'm seeing a Valhalla raid from Valhalla VFT, huge shout out to you guys. Welcome to the party. Huge shout out to Nate and Valhalla VFT's channel. It's kind of looking like Valhalla just finished his stream and might have sent a bunch of homies over here. Nate's the man. Really appreciate Nate. But here we are. We're about to talk a lot about political commentators, people that many of us used to respect, right? People that many of us used to look up to. And I would assume that in this chat, there are people from all walks of life, people from all sides of the political spectrum. I myself have crossed the political divide multiple times, somewhere in the middle. I don't even know where I am now, and I really don't care. I'm wherever we're not killing kids. Let's start there, okay? And then we'll figure it out from there. And so let's just give ourselves a little comedic reminder of what it's important to do in times when the establishment is trying to control everyone, trying to divide everyone, trying to make you fight each other. Instead of look to your masters, look to the pieces of shit running everything, treating you all like garbage, okay?
Hey, man, you can just leave the package there at the door.
Excuse me?
Just leave the package there. I'll be home in a sec. Thanks.
I'm not a delivery guy. I'm here to...
This guy's the Democrat in this metaphor.
Sarah?
Who are you?
Well, who are you?
I'm Sarah's husband.
What?
Hold on. Bro, I'm not going to do anything to you.
I'm not worried about you doing anything to me. What are you trying to do here?
Just wait there. I'm literally walking up the stairs right now.
The guy talking on the doorbell camera, his girlfriend's husband, he's the Republican in this metaphor.
Alright. Not gonna do anything. Just wanna know what's going on. So you've seen Sarah. Yeah, but dude, I didn't know you guys were married, bro. Man, how long have you guys been married? 6 years. Oh my god. Not anymore. She literally told me you were her brother. Because there's pictures of you in there, like on the wall, shit, the black and white pictures, right? Yeah. She said that you were her brother. You're fucking with me, aren't you? Are you fucking with me? No joke. I saw dirty blonde hair, and I was like, who the fuck's hair is like, I was at Brigham Girls home. Fucking Jesus. She's calling me right now. Hey, babe. I'll see you in a little bit.
Who do you think the wife is in this metaphor? Who's fucking everybody and lying to everybody? And who just figured it out? Everybody.
Bye. Hear me out.
So what do everybody do? What does everybody need to do in this moment when we realize that we're all getting fucked by this foreign nation?
She's gonna be home in 20 minutes. We need to fuck with her. What, like fucking surprise? Surprise! You want to do that? Let's do it. Action. You got beer? Come on. I don't fuck beer, bro. We got fucking tequila. You got Casamigos? Yeah, bro. Come on. Hey!
Crack the tequila. It's time to party. I don't care if you're on the left. I don't care if you're on the right. I don't care if you're libertarian. I don't care if you're whatever. Let's hang out, yo, because we're all getting screwed together. Okay? This is how it's always been. Israel's always been involved, but there's lots of other people screwing us all together too. And if you remember Occupy Wall Street, some of you might be old enough to remember Occupy Wall Street back in 2008 when the bankers fucked everybody. That was the moment when the culture wars began, and they were not organic. The culture wars were created, and suddenly mentionings of racism and sexism and class, all these different divisions. You're gay, you're straight, you're black, you're white, you're trans. Exploded. Because you need the people divided fighting each other so they don't look up at the masters that are ruling over them, taking all the money. Because your money is your time. It is your work. It is your lifeblood. It's not just paper. Your money represents the time you could be spending with your daughter playing games. Your money represents the time you could be spending with your parents growing old. Money is a representation of time and effort, time and labor and value. And you only get so much time and labor and value in your life. And when these assholes are stealing that from you so that they can bomb other people's lives, it's time to set aside our differences and hang the fuck out in the middle and deal with it. And oh boy, is dealing with it going well. I'm not going to lie. I'm very pleased with how dealing with it is going. And the crash outs are just so good. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the propaganda that is being profligated. Is that the word? Let's make up some. Prepondered. Prospered. Premeditated. All across the internet. They're trying to point out how much more popular Ben Shapiro is than Tucker Carlson. because Ben Shapiro got 23 million X impressions in just 24 hours with his scathing response. And Tucker Carlson only got 17 million impressions in 7 days. See? Ben Shapiro wins. Sorry, bud. We are not 70. We know how the internet works. You see those 22,000 comments on Ben's video? You see the literal 102,000 like to 44,000 like ratio? It is so mind-blowing that a Zionist would post something like this where the own is literally right there. But that's not to mention that X impressions aren't real. X impressions are just how many people's feeds it scrolled through. And let's be clear. We all saw Ben's video scrolling through our feeds. And Ben's Whittle YouTube channel is not doing so hot no more. No one really gives a shit what Ben has to say. Unless you're going to go to his comment section, because that's pretty fun. If you want to go to Ben Shapiro's comment section on that video, oh boy, you'll have a great time. The comment sections are really checking out these days. The like to dislike ratio is wild. You start to see why YouTube hid the dislikes on the platform. Because it weren't looking great for the establishment. 18,000 dislikes to 24,000 likes. That's almost a 50% dislike ratio with his teeny little views. And so it's more than a week later, and the whole country is still melting down over Tucker Carlson literally talking to, what, a 27-year-old kid? And Nick's not a kid. He's a grown man at this point. Tucker Carlson talking to Nick Fuentes in his barn or wherever it is, you know, just having a conversation. We're melting down for more than a week of news cycle. Don't worry about the kids dying. Don't worry about us invading Venezuela. Don't worry about the government shutting down. Don't worry about any of it. Because it's really important that we cancel Tucker Carlson. And so we just got all this footage of Megyn Kelly in her bright red suit interviewing first Tucker Carlson and then Ben Shapiro. And oh boy, is the spin in. But we're going to start with the most dramatic statement, I think, of the whole time. And it's important to remember that Megyn Kelly is very much establishment Zionism, right? Megyn Kelly is very much in the club. And I don't think her views are all there. I think that she saw what happened to Charlie, and I think she's not entirely down, but I think she's not about to question anything after she saw what happened to Charlie. I think she's trying to stay the fuck out of it, but that's just my opinion. But look what she says in response to what Tucker says.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about why Nick Fuentes.
I interviewed Fuentes. Well, I should just give the publicly available information on this, which is that I was in an extremely personal and bitter war with Fuentes like 3 weeks ago. It mostly wasn't public, but Fuentes was attacking my father, a subject I have like literally no sense of humor. My father passed in March, and you know, was really kind of the patriarch. Not kind of, he was the patriarch in our family and a hero to every person in our family. And you know, some of what Fuentes was saying about my dad was, you know, true. Okay, which made it worse.
That's some honesty right there. That's some good honesty. Right? And right up front, let's just address a lot of people are calling Tucker a Fed. They're like, oh, Tucker's CIA. It's like, I don't fucking care. If this is what the feds are doing with their time, let's fucking go, dude. I mean, to be clear, I don't think Tucker's a fucking Fed. Are you kidding me? Like, he knows a lot of them, but that doesn't make him a Fed. But I don't care. Imagine if all of the federal government, all the feds, the agents, imagine if they all thought like Tucker. Imagine if they were all doing what Tucker's doing with their time. We'd have a fucking golden age overnight, dude. That'd be dope. Okay? So just calm down with your freaking out, underthought conspiracy theories. Just let the man be a man for a second. And admire his humility and his honesty. Because it takes a lot to be this honest on stage. Ben Shapiro has never uttered a word so honest in his entire life.
But I was just so offended by that, I couldn't deal with it. And my son and my wife So, I was really mad at Fuentes, and then I did an interview, and just out of I was so mad it popped out, and I attacked Nick Fuentes.
Explaining what happened when he interviewed Candace Owens, that was when he said the things about Nick Fuentes, said he's like a gay little kid in his basement, right? It makes sense. Well said, Tucker. His feelings were hurt. And it makes sense. As a good, patriotic Christian American man whose father had just died, it hurt to hear especially some true truth criticizing the deepest parts of his father's career, which he deeply respected. Fair.
In this interview, this was last month, I think, ish. And then I got all these calls from people saying, do you know anything about, I don't know anything really about Nick.
And this is the part where he says the thing.
Fuentes, other than he's attacking my dad, my wife, and my son. And it was actually, Nick Fuentes is the single most influential commentator among young men. Period.
He's got 5 million subscribers on Rumble.
And Megyn Kelly is yeah, he's got 5 million subscribers on Rumble.
It's bonkers. And I didn't know any of it. I'm 56, so I'll just state the obvious,
Nick Fuentes is the most influential commentator in America, period. Except for maybe Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. You can pick your order, but it is clear that today in America, the most important commentators, political pundits, is Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, you take your pick. Whatever order you want to put them in. And if you want to look at young men, one of the primary voting blocks that's going to determine if Republicans win anything in the next 4 years, it's obviously Nick Fuentes. It is obviously Nick Fuentes.
He's not our demo.
My oldest child is 31, much older than Nick Fuentes. So I kind of missed a lot of this stuff. I pride myself on not missing things. I totally missed that. Really? And then it turns out that, he has no advertisers. They've been trying to cancel him since freshman year in college. Ben Shapiro actually tried to shut him down freshman year in college.
Tried to strangle him in his crib, you might say. With his hands wrapped around his little neck, you might say.
And it didn't work. In fact, it had the opposite effect. So I was and so then I talked to a million people I know, maybe I should interview Nick Fuentes to hear what is this actually? And so I decided to do it. And I thought it would be controversial. I didn't think it would become what it's become. I'm not going to offer any defense other than, it's kind of interesting. I've interviewed I'm doing this for 34 years. So I've interviewed everybody, most of them bad people to be.
He's interviewed some really bad people. Extremely bad people. But you know who I don't recall him interviewing, at least recently, is Benjamin Netanyahu. But you know who I do remember interviewing Benjamin Netanyahu? A whole bunch of mainstream conservative pundits. Even the Nelk boys, I'm pretty sure, interviewed Benjamin Netanyahu, who's conducting a literal genocide, who has bombed thousands of women and children, who orchestrated the Jeffrey Epstein child sex trafficking operation towards us, allegedly, most likely. Right? We're not even talking about 9/11 tonight. He's allowed to do all the interviews he wants. Lindsey Graham's cheering on bombing children. We ran out of bombs. He's perfectly good in society. No big deal. But Nick Fuentes, oh boy. And, I hate to say it, but you can just tell what take you're going to get by whether their name sounds Jewish. If they're posting Tucker Carlson and their name is Jewish, unless their name's like Dave Smith, there's not that many people that are going to give you a real take. They're going to try to spin something and then give you the clip and tell you that you're not seeing what you're seeing.
I personally have watched videos of him questioning the Holocaust, likening it to baking cookies in the oven, and there's no way you could have gotten to 6 million, seems to be his theory. He thinks to see.
See, as a teacher, as a former teacher, these guys are doing the classic old person thing. And fair, they're older. Doesn't matter what adults think of young people. It does not fucking matter what the teacher thinks of the kids' perspectives. The kids' perspectives is the kids' perspectives. And if you just be an old person and don't try to understand them, they're just going to ignore you. and keep doing what they're doing. And often it'll get worse. Often they'll just go deeper into whatever it is they're doing. The only way to change young people's minds is to genuinely try to understand them and genuinely try to meet them where they are and stop pretending like you know everything more than them. You might not. They grew up with the internet. They grew up with the entire Library of Alexandria times a million at their fingertips. Right? Kids know a lot these days.
Seem to think that we've way overstated the number of Jews killed in the Holocaust. He's ripped on poor Usha Vance in the most offensive terms, which I mean, so.
And there's this thing where when you try to restate all the things that Nick Fuentes has done, yeah, you could say he's done all those things. But did he say it in those words, in that context? Right? Like, when you take things out of context, particularly from a bombastic, intelligent young man like Nick, you're inherently just saying something that he didn't say. Because in order to represent what he actually said, you have to actually listen to what he actually said. You can't just restate it in a totally different way, in a totally different context, and pretend that you've just represented what he actually said, especially when it's about a complex argument about something very, very, very controversial, okay? So, is this the clip? Oh, it's the next clip. Oh, man. Maybe I should skip to it. It's hilarious. But we'll do Randy Fine first.
You should kill them all. Every single...
The main criticism, as I understand it, has been, well, yes, platforming. They say that I don't accept platforming as a valid objection.
What is that a verb, by the way? You take a noun and you make it into a verb and nobody says anything? As a former editor, I say no.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Honestly, but as far as I know...
You can just tell that Megan is so sick of being caught in the middle of this thing. She's so sick of them coming after her friends, of her friends fighting her friends, of this attack on free speech, but... her whole platform is funded by the exact same donors that were not happy about what Charlie Kirk was doing. And she watched that happen. And she's got all the same pushback as him. And honestly, if I'm worried for anyone in the world right now, it is those two people right there. And it is very much I'm worried for Megyn Kelly, as much as anyone else.
Nick Fuentes hasn't eaten anyone. You know, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer ate people, and he was platformed by Diane Sawyer.
Dude, we have a sitting member of Congress. I spoke to the Speaker of the House about this today. We have a sitting member of Congress from Florida called Randy Fine, who was literally texted or put on Twitter, we should kill them all. Every single one. Someone texted a picture of a dead baby, and he laughs at it.
And we all know Randy Fine. Tucker Carlson just called me much worse than Nick Fuentes. I had believed he was just paid off by the Qataris, because you're retarded, Randy, and other enemies of America to parrot this nonsense. Now I wonder if the guy is just really, really, really dumb. Yeah, Randy. We don't need to listen to Randy again. Let's listen to a politician speaking real politics. These are the kind of politicians I want to see in the next election cycle. Let's get more guys like this dude. Who's this dude? James Fishback? Let's get more guys like this dude. And I saw his video come across my feed talking about this issue. And then I noticed, hey, James is based. James is based. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Yesterday, Randy Fine called me. He berated me for 42 minutes about the Florida governor's race, telling me that if I entered that race, there would be real problems for me in the future.
He called a potential candidate and said, if you enter that race, there's going to be real problems for you in the future. It's not a threat, obviously. It's just a fat ass saying, kill them all on the internet. What's wrong with that?
Telling me that it wouldn't be nice to Byron Donalds if I ran against him, as if we don't have elections in this country.
But don't worry, there's no Zionist plot to control politics in America. There's no coordination between Zionists and Jews and evangelical. Like, come on, you're crazy. You're crazy.
Randy, if Byron is such a good candidate, he'll trounce me. But the truth is, Republicans are the ones who got trounced this week. Republicans got trounced because of people like you and Byron Donalds. People like you and Byron Donalds who all you get done is write strongly worded letters, go on CNN and Fox News and whine, and then come back to your districts and act like you got something done for Americans. It's an absolute joke. The only person who's working in Washington, D.C. goes by the name of Donald J. Trump. And the do-nothing congressional Republicans, many of whom are good people, but the truth of the matter is that if Elon Musk emailed you guys and asked you what you got done this week, you would say absolutely nothing, because you know what? Going on TV, whining on podcasts, and writing tweets does not count. That does not count as getting something done for hardworking Americans. But you know, the beautiful thing about all of this is that you guys endorse each other. You and Byron are thick as thieves, which is quite fitting, actually. You guys endorse each other. Byron, you endorsed Randy for his congressional reelection. So Byron, let me ask you, do you endorse Randy Fine's comment on July 22nd, 2025, in which in response to children starving in Gaza, Randy said, quote, "Starve away"? This is the problem. This is the problem with you congressional Republicans, is you are not focused on delivering for America first. We did not vote for foreign wars. We did not vote for bombing other countries. We did not vote for any of that. We voted for America first. Boom. Period. End of story. And what you guys have done has been a complete humiliation, a complete rejection of the historic landslide, the mandate that we as voters gave President Trump. Get back to D.C., do your jobs, and actually deliver America first.
6 months ago, I'd bet that our boy James might have watched a Nick Fuentes video, but he wouldn't have pressed follow because he would have known that there was a veil over America, and that if he'd even dared to press follow on a young, precocious white man saying the kinds of things that Nick's saying, asking the kinds of questions that Nick's asking, that could end his political career, because there's a Zionist mafia that controls our government. But today, maybe, hopefully, James might see a Nick Fuentes video and think, you know what? Fuck it. These days, it's all right to follow Nick Fuentes. The times, they are a-changin'. And I don't know if he likes Nick Fuentes' content. All I know is that he follows my content, which is pretty cool. Dude's based. America first. Shout out to James Fishback. If I lived in Florida, I'd be voting for you. But we need more guys like him. And I sure ain't going to do it. I would suck as a politician. But the times, they are a-changin'. And the politicians, they are a-changin'. And that's what Israel and all the Israel firsters are so afraid of, is that all these young people are growing up and they're not having it anymore. The 9/11 generation is of political age now, and we've had enough. Our whole lives has been a lie. All the politics has been a lie. All the money has been a lie. All the institutions have been lies. The education was a lie. The promises of jobs were lies. The culture's all fucked up. That was lies. Marriage, retirement, a happy family. Those were apparently lies for most of us. It's all lies. They were all busy flying to this one island, doing extracurricular activities. It turns out that actually we were paying taxes to pedophiles all along, and all they were doing was voting for Israel shit the whole time. And y'all can just shut it up, peasants. That's been the status quo our entire lives. And now we're all growing up. And people like James are getting into politics. And we're about to watch some very interesting races in 2026 and in 2028. And I don't know about you, but I am never voting for any candidate ever again in my life that has taken a single dollar from any Israel-affiliated PAC. And I would invite you to consider doing the same thing. Because although it is illegal to boycott Israel, a foreign nation, in 38 American states, I'm not sure it's illegal to boycott with your vote yet. So, sue me. Corporations have freedom of speech when they use their money. Corporations have the freedom of speech to use their money to lobby our government to do whatever they want. Poison us, steal our land, lawfare us. They built a whole secret court system called arbitration over the last 30 years. They'll do whatever they want with their money. But you, Americans, you're not allowed to make monetary decisions if they negatively impact that one foreign nation ruled over by God's chosen people, because that would be antiseptic. So get wrecked. Floyd Money Mayweather, on the other hand, well, someone noticed that he's driving around with $20 million in cash as of, November 6th, apparently. Let's be clear. Can't confirm. I have no way of validating or verifying if Floyd Money Mayweather has 2 brand new suitcases full of $100 bills. But I will remind you that he did just do this one little conference thing for Israel. And, if Floyd Money Mayweather is going to go through his entire boxing career and then take his first L for Israel, I bet he had to be paid pretty handsomely. But don't worry, Mark Levin wants to remind you that Israel's important because Floyd Money Mayweather sweat bullets while he told you about how he stands for Israel. So now, let's get to the best part of this whole thing. Ben Shapiro talking to Megyn Kelly.
So you and I have talked about Nick Fuentes many times over the years in our many appearances together, and that's how I knew about him, because he was saying absolutely terrible things about you.
And we're not going to watch the whole 11 minutes. We're just going to watch the start of this clip.
And I am going to show a video, please forgive me, of one of my first introductions to this guy, Nick Fuentes, and what he was saying about Ben. This is a video of him showing himself playing Grand Theft Auto, right?
Megan, I'm not trying to shit on you. I'm sure you seem like a lovely woman. But you're such a mom right now. You're such a parent. You're old. It's hilarious. And that's fine. That's fine. But it gets way better than just this part.
A video game where you shoot people, and he's pretending that this character in the video is Ben. Let's watch.
Nick is literally live streaming Grand Theft Auto like 6 years ago.
That's funny. Oh, that's funny. Man, that makes me laugh and laugh. That's a funny one. What a chance encounter that was. I think I just saw Ben Shapiro.
These guys, obviously they have never been in a Call of Duty chat room. These guys they don't have kids, or they're not paying very good attention to them. Because A, that was the tamest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. B, he wasn't actually referring to the guy who was shooting as Ben Shapiro. He was making a running joke. And if you had any context other than your out of context clip, you would find one of the funniest fucking clips on the internet today. Check this out. This is pure gold. And oh my God, let's just remember, it's been 10 years since Ben Shapiro, rather than debating Nick Fuentes, tried to cancel him. Had whole organizations gang up on him, had him debanked, had him put on the no-fly list, had him kicked off of all the platforms, everything they could possibly try, except sitting down and out-thinking him in the open markets with your ideas. Ben Shapiro is still a fucking pussy, too scared to debate Nick Fuentes to this day. And he could do it anytime he wanted. He could do it right now. Nick Fuentes just re-offered the challenge just the other night. It would be the most watched debate in probably the whole decade. Like overnight. It would probably single-handedly bring the Israeli wire back from bankruptcy. Ben could get a new mansion. But oy vey, that would be very dangerous to do. That would be very bad to do, to engage in the free market of ideas. So let's just remember that that's the context around Ben Shapiro debating Nick Fuentes. And that's the context around the little joke that Nick just made in the last clip that you saw. And this is the clip that Megyn Kelly apparently didn't look far enough to find.
Maybe I'll take a cruise down this side of the street.
Nick's just
He
cruising
is close.
around.
He is near, though. That is true.
He's looking for something. What's he looking for?
There he is. Yep. Hey, Ben. You thought you could get away from me the first time, huh? Without debating me? I just want to talk, please.
It's a Jew.
Stop
it's
running.
A Jewish guy in Grand Theft
I'm not
Auto.
a threat to you. Look, here I am. I showed up.
He literally is hunting down Ben Shapiro in Grand Theft Auto, not to shoot him, which is like the point of Grand Theft Auto is to just shoot random people, blow up cars, jump off buildings. That's what people do in Grand Theft Auto. Nick Fuentes is not doing that. Nick Fuentes is fucking finding the Jewish dude on the side of the road in Grand Theft Auto when he's live streaming, and he's getting out of his car and walking up to him. And because Ben Shapiro won't actually debate him in real life, instead, he's simulating it in Grand Theft Auto and saying, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm no threat to you. I just want to talk to you. I'm just here to debate you, Ben Shapiro. I'm just going to talk. I'm just talking. Don't run away, Ben Shapiro.
And I just want to talk about ideas, okay? You're the one that loves the marketplace of ideas so much. Just talk to me.
And Megyn Kelly had no idea what she was referencing when she brought up that clip. This is literally a running joke in his streaming when he was streaming video games and streaming Grand Theft Auto. He would make jokes when he would see the Jews on the side of the road that it was Ben Shapiro, and he would try to debate him in Grand Theft Auto. And then the Jewish guy would run away because it's Grand Theft Auto and that's how it works. And then it just gets funnier and funnier. Don't worry, it gets better.
Back here, bro.
He's just chasing him down.
Ben Shapiro, bro.
For
Get
like
back
2
here.
minutes. Doesn't want to hurt him.
You're really making my skin fucking point to you.
And then...
Is this what you want, Ben?
It
Is this
just
what
keeps
Ben
going.
wants this instead of... Oh, taser? Do I have the taser?
He's looking for non-lethal options.
If I had the taser, I'd be able to...
Is it possible to subdue him? Can he subdue him?
I don't have anything that's not optical here.
He's trying everything. He's trying everything
No,
he can.
on second thought, no. Bad idea.
He's still chasing him.
Disavow that. That's the only non-lethal weapon I have.
Literally, this is going on for minutes, trying non-lethal approaches to get a debate with
I wasn't even thinking.
What does it take to get a debate with Ben Shapiro? He'll try anything to get a debate with Ben Shapiro. He just wants to engage in the marketplace of ideas.
Think of it like that, Ben.
But then, what actually winds up happening in the clip?
I think you can keep this up.
The guy's running away, and then, whoa, what just happened? He got hit by a car. The car ran him over.
Him. I will defend. Survived.
They both survive, and then the very end of the clip, once they've been run over by cars, Nick's been chasing him down, he's been trying to debate him. And then the dude's running away. And the police shoot him.
What happened?
The police guys shot him.
Ben, are you okay? This is supposed to be a debate. This is a debate, you monsters. How could you kill him like?
And then Nick Shapiro comes to the defense of Ben Shapiro, or Nick Fuentes comes to the defense of Ben Shapiro and starts fighting the cops that just murdered him. And he starts going after them.
That.
This is supposed to be a debate, you animals.
I will avenge Ben Shapiro. I must avenge.
This is literally what Megyn Kelly was referencing with her terrible clip.
And I am going to show a video, please forgive me, of...
Don't worry, Megyn, we forgive you, because that was fucking hilarious. Just one more time. I just want to watch the beginning of this one more time, because it's just too good. Like, no fucking wonder this guy is so popular. Look at this.
There he is, yep. Hey, Ben. You thought you could get away from me the first time, huh? Without debating me? I just want to talk, please. Stop running! I'm not a threat to you. Look, here I am. I showed up.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk about ideas, okay?
Just want to talk about ideas.
You're the one that loves the marketplace of ideas so much. Just talk to me.
Yeah. So, that's awkward and hilarious. Thank Lord for that. But let's get serious again. Whoa. Let's get serious again. Because that was really funny, and the next clip is really fucked up. Candace did a great takedown of this clip earlier. Because this is super messed up, Ben. This is so fucked up, Ben. You're about to watch Ben Shapiro openly lie and slander Candace Owens. Just completely lie about what Candace Owens has been reporting. That we can all just go and watch and see that he's lying. It's like, this is the internet, bro. Like, if the roles were reversed, if this was Candace Owens saying this about Ben Shapiro, let's just say maybe there'd be a lawsuit. Maybe. Like, it's like kind of slander to say that she has been saying that Erica murdered her husband. Candace has not been saying that. Not even in the slightest. She's not even said that she suspects that. Okay? She's not brought that up at all. But don't let that stop Ben.
For example, Candace Owens. I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay? And I say that again.
But what
because
like I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not, but my position is it's really none of my business. And
why is it? But I have a question.
So you're about to watch him first lie about what Candace Owens said, verifiably lie, and then you're about to watch him publicly pressure and shame his friend Megyn Kelly, exactly like what was happening to Charlie Kirk, exactly like what they do to everybody. Of, are you not going to disavow this stuff that never happened, that I'm saying happened but never happened? You're not going to disavow it? Look at all these people out there in the audience. If you don't disavow it, you're an evil person. I'm going to ruin your reputation. I mean, it would be really great if you disavowed. Disavow.
Why is it none of your business? I mean, you comment on these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
No, but if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Hey, Ben Shapiro, when's the last time that you disavowed Randy Fine or Mark Levin for calling for murder and genocide? When's the last time that you disavowed Benjamin Netanyahu for purposely starving a civilian population?
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk, yes.
Hey, there's Valhalla VFT and their viewers. Shout out to Valhalla VFT and their viewers. You guys just missed the best fucking thing ever. If you're coming in from Valhalla VFT, y'all should really hit the rewind button by like 10 minutes and watch Nick Fuentes chase down Ben Shapiro in Grand Theft Auto and try to debate him. It will make your fucking day, guys. Shout out to all the Valhalla VFT viewers coming in here. You should really go back a little bit and watch that clip that we were just looking at.
Okay. Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch Candace.
And here's Megyn trying to disengage. I'm not trying to fucking do this, Ben.
Friendship should not, in our business, I think it's important. Listen,
And he just pushes and pushes and pushes.
And Candace
friendship
and I are
should
not
not
friends.
trump.
We don't even know each other.
I understand, but even with Tucker, friendship should not trump
Even with Tucker.
our manifest requirement to speak out when people do and say things that are both detrimental to conservatism and morally wrong.
Okay,
And Ben is just blatantly a hypocrite here. Do you know how many fucking people are just blatantly evil and morally wrong on his team that he's never disavowed? That have killed thousands and thousands of babies and children. Nothing. Ben is literally an operative for an ethno-state conducting a genocide. What a fucking piece of shit. And by literally an operative, let's be clear. What I mean is that he is operating in a way in the media environment that benefits, entirely is loyal to, and is entirely driven by the desires of a foreign nation. It would seem that way to me. I'm not accusing Ben Shapiro of being a Mossad agent, although if you wanted to ask some questions, you'd be welcome to. You might have some suspicions. You might wonder where the Daily Wire gets all of its money from. I mean, if Benjamin Netanyahu was offering untold millions of dollars to Charlie Kirk and TPUSA, you kind of wonder if he's ever given that offer to anyone else, especially in these very important times. Right?
So I don't totally disagree, but I think the way of handling that, at least for me, is much different. So I saw things go south between you and Tucker.
Good job, Megan. Way to redirect that fucking shit show. Poor Matt. Can we just have a moment of silence for poor Matt Walsh? This poor man. If you don't realize, a lot of people are giving Matt, and let's be clear, I've given Matt Walsh a lot of shit too, and some of it I regret, because I kind of knew all along, and the more I've thought about it, I know that Matt Walsh is under contract. He is under a multi-year contract that he cannot leave because they're very litigious. And I learned about that when I got inside scoop reporting on Brett Cooper leaving. And I got a little bit of insight into what they did to her. And I can't help but notice that Brett Cooper still doesn't comment on the Daily Wire at all, I don't think. I'm not sure she comments on Ben Shapiro or anything like that. She made comments about Randy Fine and Mike Huckabee and stuff like that. But let's just say there's things called non-disparagement clauses. These contracts are extremely thorough because they're written by, let's just say, really good lawyers. And Matt is trapped, okay? I have a feeling that if Matt Walsh were to try to leave today, even if he didn't have a contract, he would be doing a very dangerous thing. Because we all saw what happened to Charlie just by pure coincidence, obviously. A complete coincidence that just as Charlie was trying to, go a little bit off the reservation and maybe leave the pro-Israel cause, like he said in his text message, it's just a coincidence that, days after he says to his Jewish donors, I need to leave the pro-Israel cause, he gets a bullet in the neck. Are you fucking stupid? And so Matt Walsh is in a very precarious position. And to be clear, Matt Walsh is no Charlie Kirk. Sorry. But he's not the face of a gigantic political youth activism organization that's running like the entire Republican Party more than the actual RNC is at this point. He's not that. But he is the last person that anyone is watching at the Daily Wire. Is anyone still watching the Daily Wire? Are you still subscribed to the Daily Wire? Because you should unsubscribe from that evil piece of shit organization. That is a foreign influence operation on American soil. And here is poor Matt Walsh having to sit through his coworkers, including Ben Shapiro, mocking his faith and him while he's right there on the call.
Vatican except for straight people. It's
That may have been a dark joke about the Vatican or not, but it was a good one.
I actually am impressed that the Catholics are actually getting nicer. I mean, I actually like Matt, which is as opposed to these guys, and it is getting to be. It's like the Vatican except for straight people. It's so it's really it's really exciting.
That may have been a dark joke.
I mean, to be clear, I'm no fan of the Vatican. I would happily make fun of the Vatican. But, like, come on. Come on. So let's just all remember to give Matt a lot of grace right now because he's going through some messed up shit. That sucks, bro. And we will all be here for you to support your platform when you are finally set free. And my homie Zeb Boykin said earlier today, he actually had a good point that maybe Matt Walsh actually can do more good from inside there, locked in with them right now, than he can from outside. Maybe he's going to come out of that with a lot of perspective and some things to say, hopefully. Shapiro was just wang-splaining. So let's just say that Brett Cooper has come out just fine after her stint at the Daily Liar. And I've got high hopes for Matt too. And Matt, hang in there, stay strong, do your show, just keep it up. I'm sorry that I've been such a dick to you, genuinely. I was a dick to you. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that you are under contract. And I don't know if you want to leave. I don't know who, I don't know you at all. But I understand that you probably cannot leave even if you wanted to, and I can only imagine what it would be like to be locked in there right now. So you just keep your head down, keep doing your thing, keep doing your reporting, and we will be here to help you out when you get out. Joel Berry. Let's briefly just take a look at some of the Zionist shill nobodies on the internet. Joel Berry, one of these nobodies. I think he's associated with the Daily Wire. Couldn't care less. In the last year, Candace and Tucker have given our side nothing but demoralization, division, confusion, and conflict. Their impact on the right has been devastating. They've made us weaker, and they've won nothing except clicks and ad revenue for themselves. Pathetic. Bitch, your side is Israel first, and this is America, okay? When you say, given our side nothing but demoralization, division, confusion, and conflict, that's a hell of a self-report, Joel. Because you know what it's given the American side? It's given us the first fucking hope we've had in dang near our entire lives. I am more optimistic about America's future right now than I have been since I woke up from liberalism and started figuring out what the heck was going on out here. I am deeply encouraged by the courage of Candace and Tucker and Nick, as well as many others like Dave Smith and Clint Russell and all these other people in the commentary space. Deeply encouraged. Thank God America's waking up and putting America first. No more of this fake MAGA America first that got co-opted by gigantic Zionist Jewish donors and shit. Sending more money over to fund foreign wars. We're stoked. We are stoked, dude. America is partying. Let's get on with this. Let's get this out of our government. Let's get this influence out of politics. And let's get back to making America great. Let's get back to America. Your side can move over to your favorite country. And I know Joel is not Jewish, but he might as well go over to the country that he keeps advocating for. I just thought this graphic was funny. It's important to remember the volume of propaganda on the internet right now. They use faced influencers and they use a lot of faceless. But let's never give the faced influencers an out. Xavier, he's sick of the $7,000 a post joke, which is an average, by the way. the reporting that brought up $7,000 a post, that was an average where they looked at all these different documentations and saw that some influencers were getting paid this and some were getting paid this, and the average was about $6,900 and something dollars. I don't know how much Xavier's getting paid, but it's getting old, bruh. So I just wanted to remind you, Xavier, that you went to an act of genocide and mocked starving women and children for money. You walked around with the juice box like a gay fucking genocidal maniac. Like, no one cares. Get wrecked, bro. There's really no words to describe the level of condemnation that you deserve. And the fact that we have people that are willing to put this shit on the internet is just unreal. I'm trying to remember if I gave yeah. He tried to argue semantics about this. It's not a genocide. I don't fucking care, bro. Call it a bar mitzvah for all you want. We can all see it. So we've got influencers that are paid. We've got faceless. We've got bots. We've got bot farms. But we've also got entire media organizations like The Blaze, like Turning Point USA, like The Daily Wire, PragerU. In fact, just about every right-wing media organization was built on Zionist money for the express purpose of promoting Zionist causes. And so when you see them promoting obviously retarded Zionist takes, just tell them to go fuck themselves. Blaze, you're irrelevant. It took me less than a day to get 14,000 likes to you're not even 1,000 yet, and you're an entire fucking media organization. If these media organizations were actually doing their job and reporting on genuine American concerns, genuine conservative media, they would have tens and tens of thousands of likes because they would be promoting and benefiting from the entire dragnet of all of the influence of all of the people in the entire movement that they're promoting. But instead, they're just shills for a foreign government that built these artificial platforms for these artificial influencers to show their artificial talking points on behalf of a foreign nation. And it tricked everyone for it tricked most people for a long time. But the internet slowly broke the dam. And they didn't even realize, they had no idea what to do with it. They still don't know what the fuck to do with it. They don't realize that the shit lives forever. And so a lot of my detractors, they try to paint the way I speak about this as like extreme or like you're just like you're losing your mind. You're crazy. Like you're just making a big deal of it. Oh my gosh, you're obsessed with Israel. Bitch, Israel declared war on American citizens. The Prime Minister of Israel openly declared war on American citizens, and you all pretended like you don't have ears to hear it. Let's remember what Benjamin Netanyahu said. And I know you're going to be like, he didn't actually declare war. Yeah, he did. When he says what he's going to do, believe him.
Christian influencers, okay? You said, we talked about the woke right. And he said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant.
That was the most forced bitch-ass laughter I've ever heard.
The woke Reich, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're loonies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money.
So a lot of this is done with money. And by this, he means controlling American minds. He means controlling American sentiment. But don't worry, he gets more direct about it.
Money of NGOs, vast money of government.
The NGOs, if you're not familiar, go watch Nick Fuentes' show from a couple nights ago about the Heritage Foundation. The NGO networks are vast. And when people talk about a Jewish conspiracy and it's like some big blood libel anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, no, that person's just read on what is actually going on, because there's a vast network, like hundreds of non-governmental organizations, dark money funding, just passing money in and out, flowing things, think tanking, writing policy papers, vetting people, promoting people, artificially inflating things, making up bullshit. All bullshit. And it's a giant network, and it is coordinated, and it is very much on behalf of a foreign nation. And obviously there are NGOs that are not Israeli, but the network of Israeli and Jewish NGOs that support Israel is staggeringly large.
Vaster. Okay?
I mean, he literally is saying it right there.
We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance.
And by our influencers, he means the Americans sitting across the table from him. The American influencers that are not registered under FARA are influencers.
To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle.
We're going to have to use the tools of battle against Americans in order to win this conflict. And remember, the conflict is getting Americans to support a foreign nation. A foreign head of state saying that we're going to have to use the tools of battle over in America to win over the hearts and minds of American citizens to our foreign state. If Mossad did a cyber attack on America, would that be an act of war? When Russia rigged the U.S. elections, that was an attack, right? That's an act of war. If Iran were to bot the U.S. education system and change all the textbooks without anyone noticing to say Iran is the greatest nation on the earth, would that be good? Is that okay? Is that an attack on America? Right? So when Israel is using the weapons of war against American citizens here,
you know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay.
But if he had to, he would. Oh, he
would. Fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is followers.
They're not that bright. Give them a pass. They're not that bright. The most important ones are TikTok and X, in his words. And so they already bought TikTok because it's an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory to say that, you know, an awful lot of these wealthy people are Jewish and Israeli Zionists. And now they're coming for X. This is Google search trends in Israel over the past 30 days. Someone noticed that Israel's all searching for how to download X. Just in time for X to get absolutely flooded with fucking bots and Zionist shills and random Eyal Jacobis just posting 500 times a day about how Americans need to feel about this foreign government and how it's America first to foreign government and flooding your comment sections and flooding your post feeds. It's not you. It really has turned to sewage out here. But don't worry. Do not worry. When you scroll through X, when you scroll through your social media and you see all this bullshit, do not worry. Actual Americans in real life are waking up. There's groypers fucking everywhere. America First is on the rise. Leftists, right-wingers, libertarians, all of them know about Israel. All of them agree. We're all hanging out, having tequila and pizza together, waiting for this bitch ass to come home and answer our questions. And so when they get up on stage and the Trump family's there at a Turning Point USA event, they're just getting peppered with questions about Israel and Papa Don's relationship with Israel. And oh boy, is it glorious. Because you can cancel Tucker off the TPUSA stage if you want. You can cancel everyone off the TPUSA stage if you want. Just put a bunch of Josh Hammers up there. That'll be great. But you know who you cannot cancel? Is the audience. Because the audience is awake. Unless you want to bus around your own Zionist audience to all of your events, like you might have been doing to the Megyn Kelly event, you're fucked.
TV over the situation. Israel has not been a great ally to the U.S. all the way since 1960 when they bombed the USS Liberty. Israel is a nation where Christians are constantly under attack in both Gaza and the West Bank. We talk about America first and defending Christians, but how can we do this if we align ourselves with a nation that does not do that itself?
And obviously we don't need to listen to the response because obviously the response is a dishonest kind of evasion. We all know what Papa Don is up to. And we all know that his kids aren't going to admit it on stage. But his kids probably know. They watched how Bibi treated their dad around the war in Iran. The 12-day war. They watched how Bibi treated their dad around the ceasefire deal that he was trying to broker. They watched someone literally shoot their dad in the ear, damn near in the face. So let's briefly talk about Zoran Mamdani. I couldn't care less about Zoran's policies. I don't live in New York. I have no intention of living in New York. New Yorkers, I'm sure you're lovely people. I do not like your city. Not like I hate your city. I just don't want to spend time there because cities are bad for you, dude. And New York is dirty. Like, yeah, there's history. I get it. Right? But we've all seen the debate. It's so
first foreign
obvious,
visit by
so obvious why he won. It's like, does no one have any self-awareness to just zoom out and stop having opinions and start actually just trying to examine what's going on and learn a thing or two? If this is you, Democrats, Republicans, doesn't matter. If this is you, you're not going to get elected in the future of American politics. It's over. The game is over. We are done sucking the dick of sorry. We are done with the foreign nation stuff.
Mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first? Left to right, Ms. Adams.
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
Mr. Cuomo?
Given the hostility and the anti-Semitism that has been shown in New York, I would go to Israel.
Mr. Tilson, where would you go?
Yeah, I'd make my 4th trip to Israel, followed by my 5th trip to Ukraine, 2 of our greatest allies fighting on the front.
He just went full retard.
Lines of the global war on terror.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel as mayor?
I will be doing as the mayor.
And then they double down. And then they triple down. I'm sorry, did you just say that you hate Jews? Did you say that you hate Jews? I think you hate Jews. Say you love Jews. Say you love Jews, Mr. Mamdani. You won't visit Israel? Why won't you go kiss the wall? You're supposed to be the mayor of New York. You need to go to Israel and kiss the wall, Mr. Mamdani. No wonder he won. He was the only one actually running for governor of New York. All these
Mayor,
guys
I'll be
are probably
standing
still
up for
wearing
Jewish
their
New
knee
Yorkers, and I'll be
pads.
meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples or at their homes or at the subway platform, because ultimately we need to focus on delivering on their concerns.
And just
as we've
yes or
seen,
no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel?
I believe Israel has the right to exist.
Not
as a Jewish state?
Notice.
As a state with equal rights.
He won't, he
Not
won't
as a
say it
Jewish
has
state.
a right to exist as a Jewish state. Be very
And
clear
his
on
answer was no, he won't visit Israel.
I said that.
That's what he was trying to say.
No. Unlike you, I answer. Unlike you, I answer questions very directly.
All right. Who cares? Who fucking cares if Israel has a right to exist? The fact of the matter is that Israel was a huge mistake. Regardless of whether you think it has a right to exist, it was a big mistake, guys. Because before Israel existed, the Jewish people were a diaspora people living all over the world as minorities, sometimes persecuted, but always minorities in foreign lands. And someone had the great idea to make a Jewish state. Just one Jewish ethno-state. And the moment that you did that, you made all of those Jewish people in all of that diaspora all around the world have to deal with the dual loyalty question. Just by their nature. Just by the nature of there being one Jewish ethno-state and Jews all over the world. Most of those Jews all over the world are not dual loyal. Most of them are Mexican or Azerbaijani or American or Chilean or wherever the hell they are. But then that ethno-state kind of grows and grows and grows and gets more and more powerful and more influential. And they start reaching their tentacles around the world, trying to get more and more Jews to move there, trying to get more and more of the Jews to support them, pressuring more and more Jews. I mean, you're not a self-hating Jew, are you? Like, are you a self-hating Jew? How do you not support the Jewish state? Are you even really a Jew? Like, the pressure that Jewish people go through to support Israel. I mean, if you think Zoran is under pressure to support Jews in Israel, imagine the kind of pressure that actual Jews have to put up with to support Israel, right? And so, unfortunately, you wind up in a world where now not only are Jews a persecuted minority living as a diaspora people all around the world, but now they're also a suspected minority where everyone's wondering about the dual loyalty question, because we see so many Jewish people in America expressing that exact dual loyalty, like Ben Shapiro, like Bill Ackman, like Randy Fine, just to name a few. And they will literally cry foul, cry anti-Semitism, while they are expressly just shouting the dual loyalty in your face. They're spending your tax dollars on the dual loyalty every day. They're censoring people. They're slandering people. They're lobbying our government. All of them dual loyalty. Ben Shapiro himself said that Israel's existence was the single greatest guarantor of his loyalty to America. But dual loyalty is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, right? And I'm not even saying this is like, it's not my opinion that that is good or bad or this or that. Well, it is my opinion that having done the Israel thing in the first place is bad because it does this to all of them. But here we are. And it is what it is. And we've been on such a roll tonight. I don't know if that means that we should not watch this video or we should watch this video. I think we won't watch this video, and I'll just say one thing. On 9/11, Building 7 collapsed straight down into its own footprint for no explicable reason. And there's not a single person out there in this entire world that can explain how a little tiny office fire from a little piece of debris caused a modern steel-framed skyscraper to collapse. And I've done whole reports on how there were steel-framed skyscrapers during World War II that were bombed repeatedly by Nazis, like for months on end. like in the Warsaw Rebellion, as one example. And all the concrete fell off the outsides of the buildings. They tilted over, but the steel structure stayed standing. There's been steel-framed skyscrapers that have had literal bombers, like planes, gigantic bombing planes, way bigger or heavier than a Boeing passenger plane. Slam into them, no big deal. There have been literal bombs gone off in these things. They're fine. They stay standing. It is very obvious that Building 7 was rigged to blow with explosives. And the moment that you realize that Building 7 was brought down by controlled demolition and rigged explosives, you realize that that is the only explanation for how the other two towers came down as well. Because they all three came down in the exact same way. I am of this generation. We grew up with this as a shadow hanging over us, with everyone too afraid to say, what the fuck was that? Because it is obvious that it was controlled demolition, not planes. And the moment that it's controlled demolition, you have to ask yourself, who had access to those buildings to rig them with explosives to controlled demolition them? And not only who had access, but who the fuck would do that to Americans? Do you really think that Americans in the American government were the ones that thought that sick-ass plan up and then took all the risk, all the expenses, all of everything that it would have taken to get those buildings rigged with explosives, to get those Muslim terrorist hijackers into place, to surveil them carefully all the way through, to film and document the event, allegedly? Do you think it was the American government that did that? Because we all know it happened. We all watched it. And so, who did it? Because someone did it. And we've been living in the shadow of this event ever since. And the moment that this event unravels, a lot of other things are going to unravel too. Thousands of Americans lost their lives that day. It is a pall over the state, the city, to this day. And there was this cry that rang out as Mamdani was elected. This propaganda that got pushed. New York forgot. No. I suspect that New York is waking up to that. Not as in Mamdani's a good candidate. That is not what I mean. Fuck that. Socialism? No. Was it Muslim hijackers that collapsed Building 7? Was it the Islamic terrorists that collapsed Building 7? Did they have access to Building 7 to plant bombs all up and down its steel frame structure? Maybe thermite, possibly, maybe a little. Yeah. I don't think that it was Mohammed Atta and his little band of thieves that did that. But don't worry. No more asbestos in those buildings. So, this is the whole Megyn Kelly. This is an article I don't need to go into. This is our poor boy, Zach. This is Mikey McCoy in the Erica Kirk interview. Hey, shout out to E-Team in the chat. My chat knows what's up. But can we just take a moment? There's this weird thing that happens when you start to realize what's really going on in the world, where you sort of disconnect from the real world implications of what you know, of what we know. Because our whole lives, we might have known some shit. Like, you might have known that the CIA was smuggling heroin, both in Vietnam and then in Afghanistan. But that doesn't really do anything if just you know it. But you never really like think about, as someone that realizes what happened on 9/11, obviously, someone that realizes what was really going on with the global war on terror, what really happened on October 7th, as Charlie had started to figure out. We never really think about like what that would mean if everyone woke up to that. Like, what would that do? And for the first time in all of our lifetimes, we're starting to see what would happen if everyone woke up to one of the big ones. And it started with Epstein. It started with Jeffrey Epstein, right? Because it was so obvious who he worked for. It was so obvious. You'd have to be literally Brandon Tatum to not be able to read that room. Like, come on. And so that got enough people woken up that by the time someone shot Charlie Kirk in the neck, 2 days after he said he needed to leave the pro-Israel cause, there is no putting this genie back in the bottle. And in some ways, this genie is Nick Fuentes, but in many ways, the genie is way bigger than that. And it brings me so much hope. It brings me so much joy, and also a lot of concern. So I want to finish this show. I didn't actually plan it this way, but I want to finish the main portion of the show today, taking one from Tucker's book, as Tucker has been expressing some really impressive leadership in the space. It is so important that you do not start to become the very thing that you are trying to fight against. Okay? It is so important that white people do not start to think that white people are better than everyone else. Because that wouldn't make you any better than the Israeli Jews that you have such a problem with for thinking they're better than everyone else. Okay? Let's not repeat the fucking cycles of history, please. Okay? We are all God's people. We are all created in his divine image. We are all equal, with equal rights, equal desires and hopes and dreams, equal families, equal ability to just make our lives as best we can, right? That's basic. But built into that is this idea that is really hard to apply in principle, especially when there's this pattern going on where there is this group that is affiliated with a foreign state that is doing military covert operations, psyops on our brains every day. And a lot of them are Jews. Like, they are. A lot of them are Jews. But if you start doing all Jews, you start to restart the cycle of history. And you don't want to give the Jews ammo for another cycle of this, dude. If you're a person that thinks it's all Jews, then you're probably a person that thinks that the Jews have done all these horrible things with all of their incredible power and all their money and legal and all this shit. So don't fucking give them another reason to start over, bro, because they're clearly good at it, right? So let's break that fucking cycle. Because it's obviously not all Jews. Duh. The Crusades weren't all Christians. The Inquisition wasn't all Christians, right? There's exceptions to every rule. There's evil Muslims, there's good Muslims. There's fucked up Jews, there's good Jews. The one group where there's no exceptions is pedophiles. They can get fucked. And by fucked, I mean into the dirt, quickly, covered over with a thick layer. Living or dead, doesn't matter to me. But don't let them come back out, ever. I hope I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. After all, the owners of YouTube did like to visit that one island. But, man, whatever. People will probably clip what they'll clip. They'll take what they'll take. Whatever. It's 2025. Y'all know what I mean. Be nice to people. Genuinely. Treat people with respect. Judge people as individuals for their own actions, right? It's really not that fucking complicated. I find that Christianity is a pretty good way to do it. Following Christ pretty much solves it all. But if you're averse to following Christ, if that's not your vibe, that's cool. These values are universal. Anyone can do it. Even you, Ben Shapiro, you could figure out how to do it too. You could bring yourself to consider the fact that maybe the lives of Palestinians are not worth 3/4 the life of a Jew. Call me, I don't know, call me old-fashioned, call me new, I don't know. It's kind of an awkward one to debate, huh? It's probably why he doesn't want to debate. It's probably why Ben Shapiro does not want to debate Nick Fuentes. So, that is our show tonight. That's the end of it. That's the end of our main section anyways. I really appreciate you all tuning in. I appreciate, there's like been 12,000 people in here for like the last hour or so. Y'all are legends. This has been one of the biggest streams we've done in a long time. So thanks for tuning in. We're not done with the show. I'm going to do a bunch of super chats here in a second. But I want to remind you to hit the like button. I want to remind you that I am just a dude basically doing this all on my own. I got a couple homies that I'm building a sick app with, and they help me in the back end a little bit. I've got my dog that gives me moral support, but I pretty much just set it all up myself in an Airbnb and have a camera, and I just do it all myself. Don't have any sponsors on this. Haven't read any ads to you because I don't fucking want to. And because I don't need to. This is literally just an Uber Eats driver, a former Uber Eats driver, an ultramarathon guide, just talking shit at one of the most powerful global empires in the world with a multi-million-dollar propaganda campaign trying to take us out. And it's just a bunch of podcasters just saying no. And a bunch of American patriots out there watching and supporting and vibing and commenting and sharing, and it's fucking awesome, guys. It is so sick. Like, tell me that America is not, like, I don't want to say back because we're kind of cooked, but, like, you know, the hard times make hard people, and hard people make soft times, and soft times make soft people, and soft, you know, or flip it, right? We're definitely in that point where the hard times are making the hard people. And we're all going through the hard shit. And we're all leveling up. We're all waking up. The time is now. America first is now. Right? Whether you're on the left, whether you're on the right, whether you're in the middle, it does not matter. I am from the left, and then I swung hard to the right, and I swung back in the middle, and I don't fucking know where I belong now. I don't care, right? Some of my views are there, and some of my views are there, and I don't care. I'm, like, friends with Nick Fuentes. I'm friends with Jimmy Dore. I'm friends with, like, far leftists. I'm friends with far right. I don't care. As long as you're not an ass to me, and as long as you're not hurting anyone else that I like, as long as you're not hurting my friends, as long as you're not hurting people, whatever. We can debate the ideas. You can think that trans surgeries for kids is a good thing. Well, I mean, that's kind of hurting other people. But I'll debate you about it. As long, like, at least those people are not operating on behalf of a foreign nation conducting a genocide with our money. Plus all this other subversive bullshit. At least, well, Some of those people are coming for our First Amendment rights, and I condemn that. But there's an awful lot of people. I mean, like, let's be clear. I don't necessarily get along with the furthest left. But there's an awful lot of people that you can get along with. An awful lot of people that you would have a great time having a beer with, playing cards with, chatting with, right? And they're going to try to divide us again. They are going to try to do something to break this up. And it's going to get way worse before it gets better. And I am worried. I am very worried that it's been an awful long time since 9/11. But Bibi Netanyahu is still in power over there, and he is more desperate and more afraid and more emboldened than ever before. And he's approaching his last-ditch effort at not going to prison for maybe the rest of his life. Although, to be clear, Israel's not going to put him in prison for his whole life because they're not that good at criminal justice. But pray for our nation. Pray for our safety. Pray for someone in the government to have their fucking eyes and ears open and looking out for whatever might be coming next. And pray for your fellow Americans. Pray for Candace Owens. Pray for Tucker Carlson. Pray for Nick Fuentes. Pray for their safety. Pray for their strength and deliverance and guidance and wisdom. But also pray for your own families. Pray for everyone around this country. Pray for the people you disagree with. Pray for your enemies. Right? Because we are about to go through some hard times. It is about to get weird in here. Okay? This is just the beginning. But remember, even when it gets worse, even when it sucks, even when it's looking bleak, remember, the noticing will continue, and it's fucking rad. Okay? And I would rather live in a world where all my homies are based and the country sucks than the country's super rich and all my homies are cucks. Because at this point, we've kind of lived in both. And it's all about having good friends. It's all about having friends that know what's up. And I feel like, you don't find friends if you're not speaking the truth. You don't find your people if you're not telling your truth. We have spent so long in this nation censoring ourselves and having off-limits topics you're not allowed to talk about, having ostracization and deplatforming. And this is the last dying gasp with Nick Fuentes. He said that it was like baking cookies in the oven. Oh, no. Like, dude, get over it. This is America, and it's time for some freedom of speech. And if you can't handle freedom of speech, I would say leave. Like, in the wise words of Brett Cooper, you could go over there where you'd be happier, right? Go over there where you'd be happier. Because over here we do free speech. And this is Free Speech Friday. This has been Free Speech Friday. Thank you for tuning in. We're about to roll the outro, but if you want to hang for the Super Chat, stick around and we'll read about an hour of Super Chats right after this. I just love this video so much. So, drink your water, love your family, say something nice to someone, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Conspiracy theories are entering a information is the oxygen of the democracy.
There's so much evidence out there that even if less than 1% is true, that would be enough to collapse the current paradigm and change the whole planet.
All right, now we can chill. Now you can, crack a drink, kick back. That's the end of the official show. Now we're chilling. I'm going to stretch my legs out. That was a lot of fun, guys. That was a big stream. A bunch of people in here. Huge thanks to Nate. If you're still out there watching, bro, you're the man. Thanks for linking your people in here. I've been talking to Nate a lot lately, both behind the scenes and on screen. I freaking love Nate's analysis on Valhalla VFT. Awesome channel. Awesome work. I just want to shout him out real quick. I'm going to pull him up. If you don't know about Valhalla VFT, bro is based, dude. He's such a legend. This is his channel at Valhalla VFT, and he's been doing awesome work on the Charlie Kirk case, but he also just has awesome opinions about politics in general. He's like actually a pretty center of the line dude that's got a pretty wise take on the world, having seen a lot of the world, having combat experience. But he's just a good dude. So shout out to Nate. If you don't follow Valhalla VFT, you are missing out. Now it is time for us to do super chats. And I think that what that's going to require is we're going to have to quickly modify our spot so that I can, because it's no fun to do super chats if you guys can't see them. You know, like it's right. It's no fun if you can't read along with me. But it means that I have to, I'm just going to have to set this thing up live because it's been a hot minute since we've done this. And so I'm just going to share it from, I think that's the spot. Yep. Yeah. And then we'll grab this edge and do this, and this edge and do that, this edge and do that, and zoom it in. Boom. Ain't that hard. See, I'm learning things, guys. And we'll put them over here this time. Right? So we got our super chat tracked. Just like that. And I kind of feel like we should play some tunes, guys. Don't you think we should play some tunes while we do this? Right? Shouldn't we play some tunes? I just feel like kicking back now. I feel like that was like a big stream with a lot of like, I don't know. I was like very locked in. I don't know if you guys realized, but I feel like I just went through a time warp because I wasn't paying attention to the chat. I wasn't paying attention to the text. I just nothing else. I was just like locked in, and I'm sure you guys realize that. Wang first. What's the Wang acronym that Nick is selling these days? It's Wang half. If you don't know, it's white ass niggas going hard as fuck. So it's Wang Naf, right? And he's got shirts that he's selling. It's Wang half. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that all throughout the chat. Yeah. Nick is unhinged. Nick says so many problematic things. He's so out of control. So it's newest. Right now it's sorted by newest, but unfortunately, guys, I got to sort it by price because like if someone has donated like $200 fucking, I can't like not read their super chat. I got to read the super chats from the homies that have, dropped the highest ones. And honestly, this might be the last Free Speech Friday where we ever do super chats, if I'm being really honest with you guys, because I don't really like the dynamic that it creates. It's like, I don't like that it's like you're literally paying for access, which is just like kind of whack. I appreciate the money a lot. Don't get me wrong. I really appreciate the support. But like people that are super chatting, like they are super chatting to support, but they're also super chatting like for social reasons, for like clout and for like, in order to interact. And it's like just paying to be able to talk, like get me to talk on an issue or whatever, read it out. And it's like, what about all the homies that can't afford a $100 super chat? Because inevitably, I get so many super chats. I've got 124 super chats in this night so far, and they're still coming in. That like, I'll never be able to read the ones under like $20 at best, right? And I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna read about an hour at the most. I tend to get pretty into them and sort of like ramble with super chats, which is fun. I like it. Oh, it's fucking Valhalla with the big dono too. Me and fucking Nate are in this like dono war where we keep on donating super chats back and forth to each other because I had never, dude, shout out to Nate, bro. Because I had never, once I got my first super chat from a fellow content creator, it just felt so like good in my soul to like have this endorsement from like some other creator that's like, your shit's awesome. I wanted to donate, shout out. It was like, dude, I'm going to go do that. And I started going on a super chat tear. And I started just donating like $100 super there, $100 super there, $50 super there, $50 just because like I love you guys. And you guys are hitting me, like giving me with support. And I'm doing okay now. And I just love supporting other people, especially when I love supporting other channels that are coming up behind me and helping them out and showing support. Not just monetary, but also like showing that like I like this channel, I'm watching this channel, like hyping up this channel. So thanks, Nate. I appreciate the dono. So yeah, I'll think about if we're going to keep doing supers in the future or not, or if I'm just going to talk to the chat for a little bit after each show from now on. Twitch, I am far more interactive on Twitch. If you don't know, I have started a Twitch channel where I do long streams, like even longer than this one. They're a lot more like low key. Like this one was kind of prepared. I had everything kind of ready to go and I went in one flow the whole time. Which is fun. I love it a lot. That's what Free Speech Friday is all about. It's sort of like delivering an oration. But on Twitch, I do like these like 2 to 4 hour long live streams, sometimes more, where I'm doing like, maybe I'm doing research streams, or maybe I'm doing like discussion of an event that just happened. Sometimes I just sit around and tell stories, whatever's going on. And it's a ton of fun. And it's way easier to interact with the chat on Twitch because it's not as big yet. And so I can actually like stop and read the chat and like we just hang out. So if you're like the kind that's trying to super chat so you can like have me answer a question or like talk to me or whatever, Twitch is the place to go. And you should subscribe on Twitch instead. Because I think that we're probably not going to do supers much longer on this channel. But we are going to really appreciate the supers that are coming in here. And so I'm going to try to remember to use this tool the right way. So Janie Barksdale, huge thank you for the $200 dono with no explanation and no comment. You're a legend. Whatever's going on over there, I appreciate it. Thank you. New Life Plan with the big $100 dono. Clint's stream got my heart pumping. Is the woke right? The revenge of the Ron Paul delegates that were cast aside in the 2012 Mitt GOP convention? Interesting. I've been looking for you guys. Dr. Ron Paul cured my apathy in 2008. The band is back together. Yeah, dude. There's some lore in this comment, but yeah, there is an element where like forces that were put into motion years ago, I think, are swirling through the internet for over a decade, almost 2 decades, and they're all colliding now in this really interesting way. And yeah, the libertarian movement that Ron Paul really catalyzed in a big way, I think. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's before my time. I'm not well educated on the history of the libertarian movement, but I probably fall closer to that political persuasion than more than any other political party or anything like that. I think that a lot of this is the ripples of that butterfly flap from way back. And honestly, I would go further back than that. But yeah, the band is back together and the chickens are coming home to roost and all lies will be exposed. So thank you, New Life Plan, for the $100 dono. Kelly Martini, I love your spirit. Keep being impervious to the haters who boost your ratings. Also, I hope you meet a wonderful lady who you can share your life with. You are worthy. Thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate it. First, I am impervious to the haters. I have grown a very thick skin in this industry. And I was actually just talking to another creator today that had like commented on one of my posts that like I had kind of pushed back on, and we kind of gone back and forth, and I was just friendly. We were just chitting and chatting on Twitter. We were just kind of like beefing on like what's the real truth here. And he messaged me and was like, "Hey, I just wanted to make sure that like I wasn't trying to overstep. I wasn't trying to like talk shit or anything, and I hope you didn't take offense." And I was like, bro. Don't worry, dude. It's all good. You didn't advocate for murdering children and women. You didn't advocate for rape. For SA. I got to get better at my YouTube lingo. You're all good with me, bro. And I just really love surrounding myself with smart, reasonable people that advocate free speech without limitations, that have different ideas than me, especially when they know more than me. And I said that to Clinton Dave. I said, I love being around smarter, wiser, older people than me, that know more than me, that will challenge my ideas, and that I will not like it. You never want to go into a discussion being like, I'm the smartest person in this room and I will run this conversation. That's not beneficial. Like I love going into a room where I'm like, I'm going to state all of my opinions as opinions, because I'm probably going to get proven wrong. And I'm probably going to leave this room with different opinions than I walked in. That's the shit. So yeah, genuine criticism and stuff are awesome. And all the haters are so transparent at this point that it's just hilarious. And I love it. And as to your second point here, I do have a wonderful lady, and she is not an Israeli spy, and I'm going to keep most of it private because I like privacy, and I want to protect her from the storm that I am stepping into here. But do not worry, I'm extremely happy, and I'm very much off the market, and I intend to stay that way. And so let me just take this opportunity to say, ladies, please back off, and please don't send ridiculous messages. Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm extremely happy, and I'm very blessed because Nick has elucidated this too. I cannot imagine the struggle of trying to find a girlfriend I can imagine the struggle, and it fucking sucks. And I'm so fortunate that I have met that I'm fortunate enough to have that and not have to worry about being honeypotted or betrayed or any of that shit. So yeah, I feel very blessed. Please forward to Gigi. Gigi, Stacy's giving you a huge $100 dono. You're eating steak tomorrow night, Gigi. Big time. I will buy Gigi the finest cut of meats and organs for her dinner tomorrow night, and probably the next night and the next night and the next night and the next night. All on you, Stacy. Shout out. I appreciate that. Gigi loves you. She's sleeping on the floor back there. She's very peaceful right now. Otherwise, I would have her do a cameo for you. But I don't want to wake her up. Sergeant Stocks, thank you for the big $100 dono. Really appreciate it, homie. That's how you could tell I wasn't in the military from that salute. Techie Head, other mysterious things collapsed on their own footprint. For $50, I don't know what else has collapsed on its own footprint other than those 3 skyscrapers on 9/11 and the entire Israeli right wing right now. Excuse me. But, yeah, I appreciate you a lot. Thanks for the dono. What happens when AI displaces millions of Americans? Universal basic income is a joke. Once they don't need us to build their cars, flow their oil wells, or make their clothes, Bolshevik 2.0 incoming. It is going to be weird. Blake Holbrook, thank you for the $50 dono. Has anyone read Dune? Like actually read the books? Because you might have seen the big Hollywood movies, which are excellent renditions of the books. I'm sure there are some haters out there. I've read those books like probably 5 times each, all 7 of them. They are my credo. I actually recited the litany against fear last night verbatim from memory. I was kind of surprised that I remembered the whole thing. I wasn't that surprised, but yeah, do not fear. Fear is the mind killer. And Frank Herbert wrote into those books. It's sci-fi, and it's set like thousands and thousands and thousands of years in the future. And Frank Herbert, the sci-fi author that wrote it, thought to himself, how do I write a sci-fi book thousands and thousands and thousands of years in the future that is at all realistic? Because technology will be so advanced. Computers will have advanced so far that there's really no realistic way to write that book. But when you really think about it, humans can't coexist with machines that smart. The machines will take over. They'll destroy us, and we will have to destroy them. So he wrote this idea into the world of Dune called the Butlerian Jihad, which is this fictional war that happened way back in the history of the books in our times when AI started to get developed, and it got so advanced that humans revolted against it, either because it was replacing everything and everyone was destitute, or because the machines openly declared war on humans. But for whatever reason, the humans realized that you cannot replace the mind of man. You cannot replace God in his position. And that the machines, any machine that is a thinking machine, any machine that mimics the mind of man is evil and needs to be destroyed. And it's like this genetic consciousness in all humanity that you can't have that kind of machine anymore. And so in the books of Dune, there are no thinking machines, and it's set way in the future, and they have all this high technology, but they've also trained the technology of the human mind itself, not computers, but the mind, to its highest limits, to fulfill its highest abilities, to be as like, to kind of operate at the most like computational capacity or the most emotional capacity or the most, it's really interesting. And the way that he writes the Bene Gesserit in that book is fascinating. The movies really don't do that part justice at all. Highly recommend reading the books, but they're super dense. There's a lot to get, like getting into them is really hard. But once you're in the worlds, oh, there's no book better than those books. See how I could fucking roll forever on a super chat that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I appreciate you, Blake. PH Master, thanks for the $50 dono. As a Palestinian, it was always hard to describe the conditions my family have to suffer because it always sounds made up. It does not sound real. In my head, I'm only telling you the light stuff. It's really, really more horrific than you think. Yeah, it is. I don't think that any American could really possibly even imagine what those people are going through. I don't think that most Americans even have the slightest inkling of the daily discomfort and tragedy and horror and fear and pain that those people live with. And it is a real tragedy. So prayers to your family over there in the Middle East. I'm hoping they're safe. And hopefully they get safer over time here. Hopefully this gets dealt with. Can't read your name, but Gem of Denial, I suppose. That's funny. $20. I really appreciate it. We love you, Ian. Keep up God's work in exposing the truth. We have your back. It means a lot that you guys have my back, and I know you do. And when I meet people out in public and they give me that nod, that fist bump, that like, keep it up, bro. And I know that I'm on friendly turf and I've got homies in the room. Even when it's just like a what's up and like a I got you. That feels great. And it feels good to have people that have my back out there, because I know there's people out there that would have it otherwise. So Mencha 2321, $20. Thank you. Thank you for fighting for America. Easy. Any day. I did not grow up a patriot. I did not grow up with a patriotic worldview. I wasn't taught that. I grew up thinking it was weird to recite the national anthem in the class, or the Pledge of Allegiance in the classroom, rather. I grew up thinking that was cultish because I was raised as a leftist. And so I had to find that for myself. And I had to examine the ideas for myself and realize why being proud of your nation is important. And it's important for every nation, right? Right now we live in this world where every nation is allowed to be proud except this one. Or the Palestinians. That's a generalization. It's way more applicable to race, though, and white people. And that's a conversation for another night. But in starting to examine the arguments more, I started to get more and more patriotic, and more I realized why. And this is not like a supremacist thing. This is a equality thing, right? Every race is great, and every race is evil, because we're all people. Right? And it's up to every race to uplift the greatness within them and to condemn the evil within them and to hopefully walk humanity little by little closer to a brighter and brighter future where we all treat each other with more respect and more integrity and more equality. And just remember that God is real and that God is in all of us. And when we all die, we're all going back to be a part of that same big soup of consciousness up there. And hopefully you'll have good stories to share with the rest of us when you get up there. Because once you're up there, there's no hiding anything. It's only these bodies that separate us down here, right? So I'm a big fan of American nationalism. I'm a big fan of racial nationalism. And I'm a big fan of those being built on respect for other nations and other races. And hopefully that can preserve a little bit of the diverse cultural makeup of this beautiful world. Because if you've ever traveled, the whole point of traveling is to experience the world and experience other cultures and other places and to get to know the humanity and different people that grew up in different ways, that live different lives. And the more that we soup ourselves up and pretend like we're all the same and tamp down everyone's ability to be proud of themselves except for that one special people, the more we lose all this diversity and we lose all this magical stuff that makes us human, right? That makes us all unique. So, yeah, God bless America, and God bless everyone in this world in their own ways, you know? I'm American, so I'm going to work to make America great. And I would hope that everyone in all these other nations would do the same for their nations, so that later in my life I can take my kids there and I can show them a great nation full of proud people that have their own culture that can teach my kids something they didn't know, right? Plainsome 6681, $20. Thank you. I appreciate it. Open your eyes. This is magic warfare. Magic warfare. Everything is coded in symbolism. They are casting rituals live for everyone to see. You just have to be awake to notice. The goal is to bring about revelation. Every soul holds power. I do see it. I notice it. And I bet a lot of you do too. And the beauty of symbolism is that anyone can take part in symbolism. And the danger of it is that it's really hard to pin down. It's squirrely. It's elusive because symbols are subjective, let's say. I didn't flash the devil symbol on stage. I'm just Beyonce at a concert. I don't worship Satan. I just dress like him. Give me your children. Right? That was the funniest shit I ever saw. I know, Cheryl, that you put this dono in. Thank you for the $20. I know you put this dono in while we were watching Nick Fuentes playing GTA. I know it. Arlyn, 67BL, thanks for the 20. The more this unfolds, the more I see Bibi's hummus on Trump's chin. Yeah, there's a little stain right there. He's got to wipe off. There's a little piece of me, though. There's a little piece of me that's holding out hope for some sort of like Q light type of operation. Because I just can't believe that they're all this fucking dumb. Like Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent, for example. They are smart people. They're very smart people. They understand geopolitics. They understand national security. They understand the intelligence apparatus. And they understand Israel's position in this world. And Tulsi was a Zionist the last I checked, but I haven't heard from her in a long time. And I just can't believe that Israel's doing all this shit and those people are all up in this administration. And I'm not talking about Kash Patel. Fuck that guy. But these other people, there's got to be some people around Trump that see what's going on here. And we're getting reporting from the gray zone that is saying that there are people in there that are worried, that saw Charlie Kirk get shot and immediately thought, who's the most likely person to do a political assassination like that? And so I'm holding out the slightest sliver of hope that someone up there is doing something about it. And I've got my ears in a lot of back channels. And I'm not holding on to that hope too strong. I'm acting like there's none. And it's all up to us. So we'll do our part. But please, God, let someone in the administration not be retarded. Just one, maybe a few. Please. Please. We're begging you. It's time, God. I think it's time. And I know, like, we'll get there on your time, but, like, it feels like it's your time. It feels like you're doing things, right? Doesn't it feel like God's doing things out here? Am I wrong? Am I off in that? This is different. This one feels different. Anyways, great, Katie Kate. Thanks for the 20. I'm looking forward to your content about Venezuela. Makes me think of Somalia. The U.S. has bombed over 89 times in Somalia this year. Geoseismic studies suggest Somalia holds substantial oil and gas, up to 30 billion barrels. Yeah, there's a couple nations like that. And the Venezuela thing is really interesting, and I don't think it's just oil, actually. Venezuela also happens to be one of the last countries without a central bank controlled by the Bank of International Settlements. And I've got a report ready, but there's just so much going on, and I'm about to launch the Buyer app, so I'm about to launch into a bunch of content about corporations taking over the world and being pieces of shit to us. So I will find a time to slip in the reporting about the Venezuela situation as it's escalating, because you're right that there's some really important connections to draw to oil in Venezuela and to other nations that we've done this to. And you're right that it's concerning and it's important. And there's another connection to Libya that's really interesting, that is very informative in terms of what's going on with Venezuela. Turn the volume up. Yeah, some of those clips were a little quiet. And I had them maxed out, and I had the volume input maxed out in my program, and it is what it is. But I appreciate you, Crazy Ivan. Thanks for the 20. Thank you. Zamit 1969, thanks for the 20. It took me a second to realize what you meant, but yes, the water stopped boiling on August 10th, 2025. The frogs are free. I think you mean September 10th, not August 10th. And what he means is the frog getting boiled in the pot as it turns up little by little. And now all the little Pepes are running free, causing problems at Turning Point USA events, and it's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch. Don't you think, chat? Tell me it's not beautiful to watch. Like ripples in a pond. Just walked in, ZZ Kirk. What did you miss? You missed the whole show, bro. That's someone in the regular chat. Bro's just walking in now. You should just rewind the thing, dude. Just rewind all the way back to the beginning. We're in the super chats now. We already wrapped the show up, and it was a banger. It was a total banger. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, maybe you weren't into it, but I thought it was a banger. Make sure you don't miss the part where Nick Fuentes tried to debate Ben Shapiro in GTA. That shit was funny. QWERTY, thanks for the 20. Please Google Heritage History. It is the most complete repository of anti-Semitic information I've ever seen, all based on old books and history that have been suppressed. We are not the first generation to notice. How about if I brave search Heritage History? Interesting. Interesting. I'm always careful and critical of sources like this because bias is real, and I don't want to swing so far into the other bias that it's hard to fact check and source things, but this looks like it is a repository of primary sources, which is awesome. This is cool. Maybe I just got a little more antiseptic. I don't know. That's a joke, by the way. Resources. Interesting. A traditional history curriculum with study programs. Oh, wow. This goes all the way back to ancient Greece. This is very antiseptic, QWERTY. Thanks, homie. Kaluda, thanks for the 20. Hey, Ian, fan from Egypt. Hey, shout out to Egypt. I want to thank you for your integrity in the middle of a corruption era. I have a question. Do you believe Palestine will ever achieve freedom or independence? If so, how? I do believe they will. I think it's inevitable. And it's for this simple reason. Every single one of those people in Palestine has God in them. They are all God's chosen people too. And you cannot crush the Spirit of God. In fact, when you try to crush that Spirit, you make it stronger and stronger and stronger. And I have never seen resilience of the nature. And it's partially because we're all focused on it. There's lots of other places where terrible tragedies have been, partaken in. There's lots of places in Africa right now that are really fucked. And a lot of them that we and Israel are fucking. A lot of it is Israel. Just look up what their biggest export is. But I think that when you try to hold down a people like that in the long term like this, they inevitably resist and then resist more and more and more. And they've resisted for so long, thank God, that the world has finally woken up and they're watching. And this era is over. The genocide, they'll try to hold on to it for as long as they can, but it is over. And I think that within 20 years, Israel is disarmed and restrained. I hope it's sooner. But I think that within 20 years, it's done. And that might sound like a long time. That might sound ridiculous, but these things move slow. They take time. This is mountains that are moving. Mountains of money, to be clear, that are moving. And I think we have passed the point of no return. We are through the singularity, and the gravity well is only getting stronger and stronger every day now. Can't be stopped. Rhinoceros, thanks for the 20. I just want to ask a simple question. Why is our greatest ally so gay? That's what happens when you have a whole society built without morality that likes to diddle kids, that protects pedophiles. You wind up being pretty gay. Cheryl Kolar, thanks for the 20. Thank you, Ian. Love Free Speech Friday. As a Christian, this has all been so overwhelming. Love your work. Stay safe. Thank you. Yeah, it is overwhelming. I mean, it's overwhelming for everyone, but it's especially overwhelming for people that know God, because it is so godless to learn about. And there's so much more than I could ever convey. It's a lot for it to be my day job to learn about all the darkness. And so it's great to have good friends around, to have God in your life, to have a great dog, great girlfriend, great family, things like that. Real world stuff that help keep you centered in here. So I hope, Cheryl, that you have all that too. Sending love. Sergeant Socks, thanks for the 20. No comments, just a salute. Appreciate it. Jamie Abbott, thank you for the 20. This is much bigger than politics. Simply put, it's duality. I saw a Jewish rabbi interview the other day, and according to him, Israel can't exist as a state for Jewish people. God has made them live in exile. So who's hitting? Punching? Punching glove? Yes. I feel you. A lot of Jewish people do not support this fucking ethno-state. A lot of Jewish rabbis, entire sects of Judaism, don't even believe that God ever wanted the state of Israel to exist. And I agree. I think this is a construct of the devil. It was funded by the Rothschilds. It was built on terrorism by mobsters and fucking assholes. And yeah, F that. Correction. Sponsored by Astro. Yeah, shout out to Astro. Thank you for the $20 sponsorship. I appreciate you. We are sponsored by our viewers here and by Google's ad revenue. Thank you, Astro. I appreciate it. We staying independent, dog, and it's people like you helping out. How we doing, chat? I need to lean back for a second and take a break. Get a stretch. It's getting late. It's 10:20 p.m. here in Texas. But we'll keep going for a little while here. Because y'all the homies. We've been going for 3 hours and 13 minutes, but we're going to make it to at least 3:30. 3 hours and 30 minutes, I mean. Not 3:30 a.m. Hell no. That's for the Twitch. B. Busher. Thanks for the 20. They can never take away our American spirit. We all know what it is. You don't have to be born. Hey, guys, I forgot to put on music, dog. I'll finish B. Butcher's comment, and then we'll put on some music. We all know what it is. You don't have to be born here in order to embrace it, to have it yourself. We owe it to our past and into our future. Yes, the American spirit is built on this ideal that all men were created equal and endowed with these inalienable rights by their creator. And it's really that simple. It's not complicated, Ben. So give me a second to pull up these stream beats, dog. Give me a second to pull up them stream beats. Bring them over here. I think we'll get some lo-fi going. Something chill. Play slaps. I have to modify my settings. Oh no, I know what I gotta do. Gotta turn the volume down there. And now I think you guys got some nice chill, Wang-Fi. Yeah, you got some nice chill Wang-Fi in here. Yeah, no, you're a G, my mans. You're a G. Yeah, don't worry, we got jazz without copyright, dog. Is it too loud? I don't think it's too loud. I think you guys can hear me just fine. I might turn down just a little hair. Yeah, now we are chilling. Welcome to the chill stream, baby. Welcome to the hangout. Yeah, that's what's up. This is the after party. Frenchie, thank you for the $20. Ian, you truly are an amazing content creator, but more importantly, a truly good person. Thank you for being our voice. Oh, and let me take you out on a date. Trust me, would make a good match. Such a powerful episode. Nope. No thanks. But I appreciate you, and I appreciate the dono. And I try to be a good person, but we all slip up. And the most important thing is to remember that we are all mortals, and we all sin. We all make mistakes. We all sometimes let our higher purpose slip a little bit. And when you do, it's never too late to get back on the horse. It's never too late to get back on the path. There's no amount of falling off that you can ever do that you will not be able to achieve forgiveness, both in God's eyes and in your own eyes. Okay? And so being a good person is a really high bar, actually. I know it's easy to make it seem like it's easy, and it should be, like it can be, but it's not always, right? And remember that if any of you out there are not doing your best right now, if you're in a bad place, if you're depressed, if you're just falling off, life fucking sucks, this economy sucks, this country's tanked and cooked, you don't have any friends, you're lonely, whatever it is, remember, it's never too late to pop in some motivational speakers. Shout out to the stream we did the other night. To do whatever you need to do to get back on the fucking horse and start grinding again and kill it and do great. Do your best. Be a good person. Find God. God is always there ready for you. Stacy Shepard, thanks for the 20, all the way from Australia. Appreciate it. Namenlos. Thanks for the euros, homie. Ian Carroll Show. Have a look into Anatoly Golitsyn. New lies for old. 94% accuracy of his predictions. For example, predicted perestroika nearly a decade before happening. Definitely worth it. Interesting. I am a believer that there are other things going on out here, and there are some people that are tapped into things we do not understand. There's a lot of fraudsters out there too, but It's always neat when you find someone that's putting things down that do not fit with our modern understanding of science. It's a fun time to expand your worldview a little bit. Oh, that's a new 20 that just came in. So let me pop this one out. And don't worry, if you popped a big dono in here earlier, we'll come back to you. Crazy Ivan, thanks for another 20 here. Turn the volume up, is what Mamdani said to Trump. Keep up the badass work, brother. Appreciate it, dog. Appreciate it. I don't know if you're talking to me or not, but I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit. Yeah, now we're talking. Man, it's a good night, guys. I feel good. Do you feel good? I hope you feel good. I hope you feel good hanging out with your homies, getting based, dropping red pills, shitting on Israel, saving America. We're all doing it together. So thanks for being here. QWERTY. Actually, real quick. Lisa O. Patchen Realtor. Thanks for the 20. Really appreciate it. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong screen there. QWERTY. Thanks for the 20. I didn't have enough space to clarify in previous message. Go to library, then the secret tab. That's where all the juicy stuff is at. They synthesize a perspective from hundreds of books, and I think they nailed it. Interesting. Well, I got the library right here. Go to library. And then go to secret tab. Ooh, that's hidden history. All right. The influence of secret societies on world history is more pervasive than most people realize. Now you're speaking my language. I'll be sure to get out my Alex Jones tinfoil hat kit and make a good one before I get into this. This sounds fun. Oh, they're speaking my language right here. Let's just real quick. Think for yourself. Research for yourself. Trust yourself. I like these guys. Yeah, I like these guys a lot. Appreciate it, QWERTY. Thanks for the double dono. Thanks for hitting me with a new resource. Curious to look into that. Oh, snap. Zamit, thanks for the 20. You are right. Turning point turns to tipping point. That's some good wordsmithing. I like it. The Sentient Ape. Thanks for the dono. Inflation is misunderstood. $2.3 trillion in circulation, but $38 trillion in debt. Articles 1 through 8 of the Constitution says only Congress can coin money. Private banks create credit without accountability. Watch Richard Werner and Tucker. You are so right. A lot of people look only at the money printer and the Federal Reserve without realizing that regular old banks make money every single time they issue a loan. It's the double spend problem, but for them, it's a solution. And they designed it that way. And all of that debt is just new money, made up funny money floating around because our money is based on debt, not on any hard, tangible good like gold anymore. Yes, sir. Yeah, the money is the problem. The money's been broken a long time, and the society's been broken ever since. You're very right. Signature Sounds. Thanks for the $20 dono. What's up, Ian? Did you notice Mikey hopped into the SUV through the tailgate seconds before it took off from UVU? Seen in the exclusive footage Candace shared from TPUSA guy who took selfie video from the slope. You are right, but mistaken. That was Frank Turek. White hat and white shirt, that was Frank Turek. Mikey had a backpack on, and he walked away to the parking lot. And I know what you're referring to, but that was Frank Turek. And he told the story that that's what he did. And you can see him doing it in that footage. You're right. And at first I didn't have any suspicions about Frank Turek either, but he's a little weird too. And I hope and sort of suspect that he's just naive to the fact that your friends might not be your friends, but you never know. Yeah, the hardwood floor guy, $15. Even the hardwood floor guys are based these days. It all started on Jekyll Island. If you know, you know. Yeah, the creature from Jekyll Island been railing us without lube for a long time. He's referring to the Federal Reserve, folks. The Federal Reserve that totally was not a creation of the Rothschilds. Totally not Paul Warburg coming over from Europe, doing the little thingy things they do to just slide that act in when everyone was on recess for Christmas holiday. No one even noticed. They called it federal because it's not federal, and they called it a reserve because it does not have reserves. Joan7706, thanks for the dono, $10. Loving the Candace to Ian live stream. Hopefully you, Dave, Liberty Lockdown, get that Fuentes pod going. By the way, just an FYI, my Garmin Enduro 3 gets 35 days of battery. Don't sleep on Garmin, Ian. Yeah, I'm sleeping on Garmin, dog. You get 35 days of battery when you're not running. How long does it last when you're running the whole time? And also, how much does it cost? We're talking about running watches now. We're about to nerd out real hard. Although, I say that, but I can't find my cord, and my Coros is actually dead right now, full disclosure. Because I haven't charged it in like 3 months. Garmin Enduro 3. How much does this cost, baby? It's a Garmin. I'm going to guess it costs $700. $900 in your face, Garmin. How much do you think I paid for my Coros? That's right, $200. It does everything I need, but I still love you, Joan. I still love you. No shade. Oh, that's not even Joan. Joan, I'm throwing shade at Joan. It's not even. Oh no, it is Joan. Yeah, I'm throwing shade at Joan. Yeah. Coros for life, baby. Coros has gotten me through some of the most difficult and magical moments of my life, and I'm with them. With them all the way. Hey, Coros, if you want to sponsor me, shout out. I'll work with you. Even if you're not family owned, I would work with you. Jason Bourne's wife, 208. Thanks for the $10. Your show is my favorite part of Fridays, Ian. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Jason Bourne's wife. I appreciate you. Watch out for your husband. He's a fucking psycho. Yeah, I really like this routine of Friday nights. Spitting facts, spitting truth, hanging out with the homies. It's a great way to remind ourselves that A, partying sucks these days, and B, it's not even that great for you. C, there's way better things to do. We could all learn some cool shit together. We could all save this country together. Yeah, huge shout out. Thanks for being here. We'll be back here next week. Sean Skiba, thanks for the 10. USPS mail carrier here. Do you think AI will take the jobs of everyday carriers? America first. Nick needs to get with you, Dave, and Clint. I do think that AI will take the jobs of everyday mail carriers. I think that delivering mail will not be too hard for robots to do, and I think it will replace you. I don't think it'll be immediate, but yes, I think it will replace you. If we let the current trend continue, I think it will replace most things. And I don't know what happens after that. And it's very important that we all, the people, get this fucking world corruption problem dealt with in some regard before the tech reaches that point. Or else we are cooked. Dublitar. Thanks for the $10. God bless you, Ian. You and Candace, keep it up. Appreciate it. Yeah. God protect Candace Owens. She is such a legend. Candace Owens tells the truth. $10. I appreciate it. I'm fully convinced Hamas soldiers are really just IDF soldiers in costume. We never see them until it's photo op time. Dark glasses, face masks, and they hold their guns pretty damn similarly. Hey. All I'll say is that them Israelis are real good at false flagging shit. They're real good at making events that they'll be the victim of. They're very good at painting swastikas on walls Lots of footage of that going on. But who knows? I certainly think there's a lot of real Hamas people out there. And ultimately, if I was a Palestinian, I'd be in fucking Hamas. Come on. You telling me you'd be a little bitch that wouldn't fight for your people? And I mean, like, it's a very complicated environment. A lot of them are probably also like foreign nationals and stuff trying to fight for the freedom and all that, whatever it is. But like, if I was a Palestinian, I would be in Hamas. Duh. Like, if Mexico took over America and made you live in a prison labor camp and made you live off of 1,800 calories a day or less, controlled the water, took random people out of their homes in the middle of the night, put them in prison, no trial, then they drop bombs on you every couple of years for fun, mowing the grass. You're telling me you wouldn't fucking fight for your country? Duh. People have the right to resist occupation, and Israel is an occupying force. They've been an occupier the entire time. And don't give me that shit that they pulled out of Gaza. It's a concentration camp. Gigi would be a Hamas too. And that doesn't mean I endorse all the actions of Hamas. It just means that I have a little empathy. And I can put myself in other people's shoes. And if I was Israeli, I would probably feel pretty threatened. And, you know, who knows? I wouldn't be Israeli. So I would fucking leave. If I was Israeli, I'd probably be smart enough to figure out what the fuck is going on out there. And hopefully I would move to America and speak the fuck up. Pitsy, thanks for the 10. Did he say, do you know who or where Jeffrey Epstein is? I'm going to be honest. I think Jeffrey's dead. Why keep him alive? He knows way too much. Way too much. And he's just a pawn in their game. He was important, but like, he was useful. He was good at what he did. Being fucking evil, but he was just a pawn. They don't need to keep him around. Do him just like Daddy Robert. Throw him off the boat. But who knows? Could totally have changed his face, given him a vacation. Maybe he's living his life out. It's very possible. Amber Leafraz, thanks for the 10. My niece is an EMT in Michigan. She's prevented many instances of X in her job. She cannot afford not only an apartment, she also can't even afford health care, the very sector she works in. Yeah, that's so fucked up. Isn't that fucked up? That an EMT can't afford health care? Like, what is America coming to? Thanks, Amber. Prayers to you and your family. Prayers to your niece. Be sure to protect her heart and spirit and to be there for her. EMTs come with a lot of baggage, and I can't imagine being a female EMT with the amount of empathy in a woman. That must be so hard to hold. Ash, as the world crumbles. Thanks for the 10. We've become comfortable in our cowardice. There are no warriors left, and cowardly we shall fall. We're all getting screwed by the same people, but we're choosing to blame each other. We are cowards. Hey, don't fucking hate on yourself like that. Don't be so negative. There's plenty of patriots out here standing up. There's plenty of brave people out here. Plenty of people sacrificing for what's right, for what's true. There are a lot of cowards too, yes. And yes, fear is a very powerful force, but don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on us. Don't want to hear any of this fucking negativity, okay? This is America. And we're just getting started. We are just waking up. We've got a long ways to go. Mad World, thanks for the 10. Ben is the guy who tells the teacher she forgot to give them homework. Lame ass nerd. Thank you for being you, Ian. America first, America only. You're damn straight. Ben is that asshole. Teacher, is there homework today? Teacher, Jimmy threw a spitball at me. Jimmy did a Holocaust. Yeah. Arlyn, thanks for the 10. The Eyebrow Hobbit and Levin. The Eyebrow Hobbit and Levin have been very disappointing lately. America first, baby. Damn straight. That made me giggle. We okay out there, Jeej? We all good? Nah, you're good, dog. You're good. Chill out. ITA, maybe. It's not Republican versus Democrat. It's other countries and billionaires first or Americans first. Yeah, but there's a piece to this that requires us, Republicans and Democrats and everyone in between, all of us. It requires us to actually do the work, to come to the table and talk to each other and respect one another and not take it personal and not get offended. You know? The neighbors are tripping Gigi out. Thanks, Ida. Appreciate it. Slay. Thanks for the 10. Epstein funded Harvard virus researchers like Church and Nowak. Yeah, he did. Lieber ran a secret Wuhan lab. Wuhan BSL-4 studied coronaviruses. How come we aren't talking about this connection? I mean, you're damn straight. There's all sorts of connections for where Corona came from, for who funded it, for who it was intentional. It was a bioweapon. We developed it, but not on our own. And yeah, you're right. Epstein's interest in that industry was spicy. And he had a lot of interest, not just in genetics, but in all sorts of technological industries that have done all sorts of things ever since, that are still active today, to this day. He did a lot of funding of Peter Thiel. He was one of the primary funding of Valar Ventures, one of Peter Thiel's funds. So yeah, there's a lot there. And I think that the reason why most of us aren't talking about it is because the news cycle is so crazy and people can only handle so much. And at least most of us have woken up to the basics of COVID, that it feels like something like Charlie Kirk is more important right now to get to the bottom of while it's hot in the pan. And hopefully we have time to come back and set the record straight on things like COVID. Excuse me. But damn, there's a lot to deal with here. That's by design. Kaylana, thanks for the 10. Aloha, Ian from Lahaina. Man, I hope y'all are all right out there. I leave every one of your shows with my eyes opened even wider. If I keep watching, I'll end up with Cash Patel bug eyes. Mahalo. As long as you don't start snorting that pow pow, I don't think your eyes will get that wide. But mahalo back. I hope that Lahaina's doing all right. Prayers to Lahaina. If in case y'all forgot, Lahaina burned down. Everyone got fucked. We had a lot of questions. None of them got answered. Nothing got rebuilt as far as I ever saw. I hope that the Lahaina people have been able to rebuild, and I hope that Larry Ellison has stayed the fuck out of there. I hope that you aren't in a 15-minute city these days. That was so dark. So, prayers out to you and your family and your community. Julia, thanks for the 10. Just sending you love. You rock. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it. You rock too. David, thanks for the 10. Would Israel becoming the 51st state solve a lot of these problems? Only problem is they would have to allow blacks and Mexicans to move in. Oh, hell no. Not a fucking chance. No way. No, thank you. Nope. Do not want that. And they are not assimilators. Those Israelis, there's the thing, is it's not just an Israeli government problem. Okay? It's their entire culture. They literally, the IDF got caught raping prisoners. Then they tried to prosecute them. And then the country had a fucking riot, literally, called the Right to Rape protests. The right to grape. That was a real thing. That's the kind of country that is. They can fuck right off of our states. No thank you. M. Capil, $10. To sniff a Brazilian psyop is easy. Just look at the stock shorting / endurance schemes. They just can't help themselves when there is an easy money grab on the side. I think we all know what Brazilian means there. And yeah, for example, look at the shorts that were placed before 9/11. Yeah. Crash and Burned, thanks for the 10. Are you familiar with Catherine Austin Fitts and her story? Curious if you looked into her background and what she's been saying about the financial system. Yeah, Catherine Austin Fitts is super interesting. She slides under the radar because she's not like super entertainer or anything like that. She's not super media or anything. She's just super experienced with a really interesting life story as an insider, kind of like a whistleblower. Anyone that doesn't know about Catherine Austin Fitts can look up the Solari report. She did a really interesting interview, I think, with Tucker. I'm pretty sure it was with Tucker. That was pretty eye-opening. Yeah, big time. B. Jules. The Cancel Me Fam music, 100% best idea. Yeah, for real. We're hanging out. We're jamming. We're vibing. It's late, but we're still chilling, dude. The music was essential. I'm glad I remembered to put the music on. Mr. My Chan, thanks for the 10. Astro, thanks for another dono. All love from Minnesota. Keep it up, brother. Appreciate it. Oh, guys, we are past 10:30, but we're just cruising, dude. I wonder... Oh, no, we got a lot of small supers in here because all you homies are just... Thanks for all this support. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read two more. I'll read down to Craig Mangum. So I'll read what's on the screen there. And then I'm going to do some quick scrolls and grab like 3 to 5 random ones for a few minutes so that I get some of the micro donos for all you micro homies. Because I get it. And then we'll wrap it up. Because I can't be up all night. I got things to do. I got to get good sleep and I got reporting to do tomorrow. But we also have to do a quick scroll up and catch everybody else too in a second here. Rhinoceros, thanks for the 10. He's a product of the Balfour Agreement. Israel is a British creation. Just saying. Yeah, Britain fucked everything up big time. Big surprise. The British Empire fucking things up big time. Rhinoceros, usury doesn't exist if you have a tiny hat and other abhorrent things that can't be said in public. Prove me wrong. I ain't trying to prove that wrong. That's the fucking truth right there. Craig Magnum, thanks for the $9.99. Where did you get that jacket? Really like it. Hey, I thought I was gonna shout it out earlier when I was watching myself wearing it another night too. It's like I'm always wearing this hoodie because it's so sick. This is my new favorite hoodie by far. Patriot, dude. Official Patriot gear. This is a company, family, founder-owned company run by my boy, another Ian, based Ian. Ian went. I'm going to pull it up right now, dude. A huge shout out to Ian. He was literally just visiting me here. We did a live stream here in this Airbnb together. He's based. He has great social media. He's hilarious, and he's a total patriot. A total great dad, total legend. And actually, his face is right here on the pop-up ad on it. So let me show you. This is Ian and his wonderful family. This is official Patriot gear. And they're just awesome, just like simple, dope line of clothing. All kinds of cool shirts and merch. And I am launching a line. So what they do is they do this line where they partner with different different influencers to do like a run for you of like your own Patriot gear. And what they do is they take the Patriot logo like this and they make it a little different and unique just for you, like this overlay of like, this is your Mahalo overlay. And what I did, I don't have my art behind me right now, but I drive around with this giant painting that says The Wanderers that I made when I was like 19, like more than a decade ago. And when Ian hit me up being like, yo, do you want to do a run of Patriot gear for you? And I said, yeah, but can we make it with my art like in it? Can we like use my graffiti art to collage into Patriot logo? And it's sick. You might have seen the shirt. I've got the pre-run of it that has the Patriot with my art in it, but the main run is just finishing up now, and it'll be available on their website soon. And I'll announce it, and I'll let you guys know how to get it. Ian's the man. Patriot gear's the shit. And this hoodie is so comfy. It's like thin and kind of athletic vibes. And God, I love it so much. And I love that in Austin, it's actually chilly. It's like getting mild enough out here that I can wear this thing out there all day. So thanks for giving me an opportunity to shout out my boy. Ian's the man. And if you want to watch someone absolutely cook Brandon Tatum, Ian has been on a tear on his social media, just cooking Brandon Tatum. So thanks, Craig Magnum. That was great. Great last comment for me to grab there. I'm going to scroll up and grab all the ones I missed. Or rather, the ones that came back in after the fact. Willie Wafuego. Thanks for the big 50. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, homie. Thank you. And a couple 20s to grab. Thorin Thorntonshield. Have you watched Jay Dyer's YouTube playlist, Writings of the Elite, who also hosts InfoWars 4th Hour, or heard Matthew Raphael Johnson's recordings on Radio Albion? Further insights on Fabian socialism. Both are Eastern Orthodox. No, I'm not. I'm familiar with Jay Dyer, but I haven't really watched any of his work, and I don't know who Matthew Raphael is. But if he's associated with InfoWars there, I'm sure I'll get to know him, because I like those guys. I hang with them a lot. They're cool. Maria, thanks for the 20. Hey, Ian, your friends here in Arias Transportation in Los Angeles love what you do and appreciate you. Wishing you the best. America first. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm sorry that you have to live in LA. Subtle dig. No, I'm just joking though. Sending love. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Glad I could hype you up, gas you up on a Friday. Thanks for the gas. And here's a 10 that got in the middle. Maria's. Thank you, Ian. Look at higher. Oops. I don't know what that means. But now we're down to where we were. And Mary Patriot. Sorry that you're the last one down here. Thanks for coming from Candace's show, but I'm going to just do the quick scroll. And we'll grab Victor. Blame VFT for the Wang jokes. He got a Wang comment in his stream. That's funny. That's totally a fucking Nate joke to make. Yeah, Nate's Wang half over there. And now we got Wangs flanging all over the flacking place. Yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks for the 5. One more. Names less current. Thanks for the 5. The Democrats might act like they don't like Israel, but if we elect them, it's going to be the same shit. Yeah, because the establishment's on both sides. It's two wings of the same bird. The trick is to A, don't vote in incumbents that have been there before, that have fucked it up already. Vote for the new guy. B, don't vote for anyone that has taken any money from any of the Israel lobbies. There are many. And C, probably skew libertarian. Because at least that value set is disaligned with the establishment. It just bumped me away from wherever that comment was to blur it out, but whatever. Elaine, thanks for the 5. Info on corruption of Obama. Also info on ties to JFK, 9/11, etc. Yeah, I've got lots of info on corruption on Obama. But the best starting point, so I was a liberal, My first vote I was ever allowed to cast when I came of age was for Obama, and I thought I was so proud. I thought I was saving the world. I thought he was God's greatest gift to this planet. America, baby. We got a black president. Little did I know. So, quick detour here. If you want to know about Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Soetoro, this won't give you the Barry Soetoro story, but you go to Wall Street on Parade. This website is a wealth of information about financial corruption, mostly corruption in general. Awesome financial watchdog group. It is run by Russ and Pam Martins. And if you search for Obama City Bank, you could also just Google search Obama City Bank Wall Street on Parade and you would find this. It might be this one, but I think I have to add like cabinet. That's the key word there, is cabinet. Or I'm getting too many other articles. Maybe I'll just try a regular old search. Wall Street. Actually, I'll do this. Obama cabinet selected by Citibank. There it is. Wall Street on Parade. WikiLeaks bombshell. Emails show Citigroup had major role in shaping the staffing of Obama's first term. Turns out that Obama, who was elected to fix the 2008 financial crisis, was working for the 2008 financial crisis. And he came in and they sent him a memo saying, you're going to pick all these people to be in your cabinet. And then he picked all of those people. So that's a good place to start for any of the normies out there. If you know any normies that still love Obama, get them started right there and remind them of the mandate that he had when he was elected to fix the banking system. Turns out when you elect a, shall we say, a MK Ultra banker psyop with a bunch of fake ass names and a very suspicious wife, you don't get what you paid for. So, plenty about Obama. Jamie, I'm just going to stop right there and talk to you. Thanks for the 5. I don't understand why we don't see treason charges. Thanks for speaking truth. You're damn straight. Treason for plenty of these fuckers. Yeah. Lots of treason. Treason everywhere. Absolutely. I would support treason charges for multiple sitting senators. For multiple representatives in the executive branch right now. There's a lot of people around Trump that I would argue might be a little bit treasonous. It's never going to happen in this environment, but maybe one day we'll get there. Let's get down into the small donos. Let's get down into here. Thanks for the double. Thanks for the double, Victor. Dr. Wang is very mature, by the way. Let's not be Wong. Hey, don't white such things that are so wooed, okay? Don't white such wooed things about Dr. Wang and Dr. Wong. He's not Wong. He's so white. What a wonderful person. Well, Joe Barnhart, thanks for the 2. No comment. Please do a little moment with Gigi sometimes. I mean, Gigi is up. Gigi's ready for the stream to end. Gigi, do you want to come hang out? You want to come say hi, baby? Gigi, where's your bear? Gigi, go get your bear. Just don't knock over the camera, okay? Where's your bear? Yeah, bring your bear. Come on. Get your bear. Come on over. Bring it over. Show the team. Show the chat. Come on. Yeah, Gigi. Hey, Gigi, you want to climb up? Come here. Give me your bear. Come on. Hey, psst, give me your bear. Yeah. Hey, give me your bear. Out. Come on up. Well, I've made a mistake now because now she's going to want to come and run for it. Come here, Gigi. Come on. Come on up. Come on up. Yeah, come on. Come on up, Gigi. Yeah, there's a little Gigi moment for the stream. Yeah, Gigi. Gigi is so ready for the stream to be over. Big time. Oh, you got stanky ass breath, Gigi. You've been eating chicken. Yeah, you've been eating chicken. Here, take your bear. Here, Gigi, take your bear. Go get it. Chew on that. Chew on that. There, we got a little Gigi moment on the stream. Steezy McGee, get back to work, Matt Walsh. Get back to work before you get whipped, Matt Walsh. I'm just kidding, Matt. I feel for you, dog. I'm so glad I'm not in your shoes. I'm sorry, man. Uncle Sam Woodridge, thanks for the double. Need more Ian and Harrison. Ian, and Harrison. That stream was so fucking fire. That was the most fun ever. Ian and Harrison are so based. And Ian lives way up in Utah. Or, sorry, not Utah, Idaho. But Harrison lives in town. So, yeah, I'm going to try to have Harrison on stream a few more times. Because Harrison's the man. That was a really fun stream. The audio was fucked. But I figured out what was wrong. And it was Harrison's mic. But that's the story for another day. It's 11 o'clock, folks. I'm going to do one more scroll down to actually, we're going to just get down to the bottomest of the donors. The little Australian dollars are the lowest donos you can make. What the fuck was in Building 7? That's a great last one to drop into. It's probably thermite. A lot of analysis of the powder and the dust from 9/11 have found particles of thermitic compounds in the dust. You can read all about it on the website of the architects and engineers for 911truth.com, ae911truth.com. They've got all sorts of scientific reporting, all sorts of structural analysis, engineers, chemists, physicists, you name it. They've got it. That shit's a lie. And the moment you realize that Building 7 was controlled demolition, you realize that all three were controlled demolition. The moment you realize that all three were controlled demolition, you realize that there's really only one adequate suspect that fits the bill. And there's a reason why they'll call you crazy for suggesting such a thing. Newsflash. You're fucking crazy for thinking that a little bit of office fire is going to collapse a building. And you're fucking crazy for thinking that all those suspicious FBI files, all those Israeli art students, yeah, just forget about it. Now, you are the crazy one. We're the ones that are actually following the actual evidence to the actual most logical conclusion. Thank you very much. And we're sick of it because this is America and I'm American. And those were Americans that died there. And we don't appreciate you gaslighting us about what y'all did. We have woken up. And you ain't putting us back to sleep. Sorry, bud. Ain't working that way. So I'm just going to scroll up to see if there's any others that are like in the 20 and up range that have just come in that I missed. Sergeant Socks, thanks. Snape in the Grass, thanks. Daniel Stein, thanks. Keep it real. I asked Valhalla the same question. Have you ever worried the controversial you become? Are you not worried about getting a visit from a wet team in the night, and are you prepared for that? Yeah, I'm sure Nate's prepared for that. I'm as prepared as I can be for a wet team in the night, meaning like a hit squad. That's not how they do it. If they were going to do it, it would be something a little more subtle, probably involving your car or involving like poison or drugs or something. I don't even think they would do it in the night. But regardless, I'm not worried. Because it's not about how controversial you are. It's about how uniquely impactful you are in an acute way. And it's about you being gone significantly outweighing you being not gone. And you'd be surprised how problematic it could be if someone like me were to be gone. If they were to fuck me, like if they were to come for me, what do you think the internet would think? Right? Like, if I were to die under mysterious circumstances, Like, how many Americans would we need to watch be clearly assassinated by a foreign government for us to burn it all down? And I don't think I'm so important that I would be the catalyst that would make it happen. Certainly not. But I think they're aware that that would work at cross purposes to their goals. Strongly. That being said, I am careful and I'm thoughtful and I stay very vigilant. I've got good OPSEC outside, inside. I stay strapped. My gun is right here. I do what I can. I got a dog watching over my house when I ain't here, and she's a killer. She don't put up with no shit. She's a rescue. She has lived on the streets, and Gigi is of the streets. She do not put up with this shit. She is not Zionist, that's for sure. Stacy, thank you for the big $100 dono to close out the stream. That's the last super we're reading. Do not donate any other big donos, guys. That's the last one. Thank you. That means a lot. It's really helpful. I'm starting to get into the point where I've got a lot of big projects coming up. I got a lot of other stuff going on, and it all costs money to kind of fund this and fund that documentary, event, working on that, all sorts of stuff. And I've been helping out my family. My brother's working on stuff that I'm trying to help him with. My mom and dad are getting old, and their health is not great. My dad's mental health is not great. My mom's physical health is not great. So they need support too. So it means a lot to, and I'm not saying I'm not saying you need to donate your hardworking money just for that, but I'm saying that when you do donate, it means a lot and it gets used for a really good cause, and it helps me support the people that I love, keep doing what I'm doing, and building the protective bubble around myself, so that I can get a little better OPSEC and a little better gun, another gun, a little more ammo, a few more rounds, so to speak. So it means a lot. And there are still 7,500 of you absolute legendary homies hanging out with us in the late night stream. It is 11 o'clock Central Time. You East Coasters are late. We have been going for 4 hours and 35 seconds, guys. That's legendary. That is a legendary Free Speech Friday, and I'm very proud to have been a part of it with you. Thank you so much for attending tonight's oratory experience. Cut the music, and let's think of something important to say at the end here. Ben. Mr. Shapiro. You're a pussy coward. Debate Nick Fuentes. Until then, nobody cares. You're completely irrelevant. We see through you. To everyone else, you're fucking awesome. I love you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting, liking, sharing, commenting. You can look in the description for all the ways that you can help me out. This has been brought to you completely ad-free, except for shouting out my boy. Because fuck that shit. We're just here to do the truth, learn the truth, speak the truth, seek the truth. Be sure to do your own research, because I'm not an expert at anything, obviously. I'm just a dude in an Airbnb with the internet. So this has been Free Speech Friday. It's November 7th. I appreciate all of you. Be sure to take good care of yourself. This movement that saves America is built out of Americans. And so if you are an American out there watching, this goes for non-Americans too, in your own places, in your own countries. But if you are an American out there watching, you need to take care of yourself, and you need to build yourself up to be strong and capable and competent. And then you need to build up strong community around yourself, a family, a town, a neighborhood, a community, and then your city, and then your county, and then your country, right? So drink good water, eat healthy food, Get some sunshine, get outdoors tomorrow, get some exercise, go to the gym, do something for your health. Talk to your friends, call them, tell them you love them, tell them you appreciate them, ask them how they're doing, check in on them. A lot of people are not doing well right now. And if you're doing well, be sure to spread that around and make sure that you're bringing everybody up with you. It's hard times. It's going to get harder. We all got to be in this together. Okay. Set aside our differences, reach out a hand, make a friend. And most importantly, take good care of your families and good care of yourselves. Tell someone you love them. And I appreciate you. For real. I know this feels a little impersonal, but genuinely, I appreciate you. Because it's a long, lonely road doing this all alone. Unfortunately, I'm not doing it all alone anymore. But I know how it feels to be an American in this environment today, trying to grow up, trying to scrap for a living, trying to find hope in a hopeless world. So you're not alone. A lot of us are there. And hopefully it's getting better, and we're all fighting for it. And I'm fighting for it, and I will continue to fight for it. So thank you. Thanks for tuning in. That's it for us tonight, and we will see you in the next one.
Conspiracy theories are entering a information is the oxygen of the democracy.
There's so much evidence out there that even if less than 1% is true, that would be enough to collapse the current paradigm and change the whole planet.